I slouch over. How's it going? Welcome to the world of leather crafting.
Welcome.
Liz, it looks a little bit different today. I brought Mark along with me with cherubim. Are we saying that? It's too late. I did.
We can say that. It's early, but
Yeah.
we can say that.
Still in its baby stages.
Infant, yes.
Infant stages.
Yes.
Cherubim.
Cherubim.
Stages.
Yes.
Well, what we're going to be doing for this week is making a leather jacket of sorts. In fact, this style, yeah?
Yes.
That's the style that you based it off of.
Gonna make one of these.
So I brought Mark along with me. Mark is a customer of Springfield Leather that has been in here enough, and they're like, you got to check this dude out. So I came out on the floor one time, met you out there. We went and looked at some leather together, and you said, well, once I get 10 jackets in, then maybe we can make one live.
Yeah. I think at that point I was waiting to get 5 jackets done.
Yeah.
I think I had 2 done when you approached me, and I was still very nervous.
Yeah. So this is what we're going to be putting together, fully crafting. We had a question earlier before we got started if we're going to be hand sewing this, and the answer is
No.
no. We're not going.
No.
I'm not sure if there's really any garment people that do fully hand sewed. Maybe a suit. You think some French guys hand sewing a suit somewhere?
Possibly.
We're not going to say it's not possible for somebody to not do it, but it's not happening here.
It's not happening here. Definitely not with my limited sewing skills.
Yeah, Luna's not here, so it'll be okay. We're not going to hammer stuff. That usually irritates her, so she's not going to be scratching at the door to get out. I picked out some leather that I liked for a jacket, so when we approached this idea, and Mark was like, hey, who are we going to be making a jacket for? And I was like, well, I figured since I approached you about it, and we're pretty close to the same size and stuff, that
It should be you.
that's right.
So
that's the decision that was made, and that's where I came up with. We picked out some few things. What did you normally stick to at the very start? Let's even go further back. What brought you into the store at first, ever? You're like, why? I need to go into Springfield Leather.
Oh my gosh, that would have been probably 10 years ago for leather conditioner. I think that was the first time I ever came in as conditioner for my old jackets that I was just getting into collecting back in the old days.
Yeah,
I call it the old days, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm old.
So I know that collecting leather jackets is quite a thing for people to do.
Some people have a very impressive collection. Mine comes and goes. I have a one in, one out policy, basically. So as I get one, I sell one. And so I keep it around 7 or 8.
So just 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have 3.
Okay, well, there's room for one more, always.
Oh, heck yeah, there is, because some of them don't really get worn anymore. One of them was specifically colored for the motorcycle that I had at the time.
I've got one of those.
So I don't really wear it besides riding. So and my older brother has my motorcycle at the moment.
You're going to have to get that back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, you need your
I was looking at some of the comments that are going here. Somebody said they have none. They have no jackets. So their collection is very short. And it's actually Tessa. And Tessa watched our other video that we did for the saddle build that we did, which kind of built me off of asking you to do a video like this. But she got some leather and she's going to do a saddle build. So maybe we can get her talked into making her own first leather jacket. So anyway, you came in for leather conditioner for your jackets that you have in your collection.
Yep.
We got you fixed up with that?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Learned about Big 4. I love that stuff. So.
Yeah, we use it. The Big 4 is one of the things that we use quite a bit, even lasering stuff. So we get done with the laser department. That's how they condition it afterwards to feed some moisture back into the leather.
Yeah, makes sense.
So then we got leather conditioner. We went through all the way through that bottle. Then what happened? You had to come back in at some point.
Yeah, I'd say I most recently started come in, probably a year or so ago, kind of trying to make belts and motorcycle seat covers.
Okay.
Is what really got me into it, because I don't like to pay people to do stuff generally unless I have no choice. So I thought I'll make my own motorcycle seat covers.
Yeah.
I'll save $500 by going in and finding some cool leather and hand stitch.
Yeah.
Those. Why not?
Right. It seems like something. I mean, I've heard of people doing motorcycle seats and hand stitching. There's other crafters that are in town that do that, and they bring in work. And did you do tooling on it, or just strictly covering?
Just covering, and it was just your lightweight biker chap.
Okay.
So no tooling, nothing like that. Hand stitching, it wasn't hard. It just
Mixing
took
colors,
forever.
or one color?
Mixing colors.
Mixing
of course,
colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do like a bead around the edge or anything?
No, contrasting stitching for that, but I put white inserts in my black leather seat to kind of
Okay.
match my Victory motorcycle that is all fancy. And
So we got 7 or 8 jackets at the house. How many motorcycles do we have at the house?
I have one this year. One motorcycle. Last year I had 3.
Yeah.
And
So
got a new baby in the house.
Okay.
So time for riding motorcycles was
an actual baby, not
an
like
actual baby.
an actual human baby.
A human baby. Yes.
That's impressive. You've been doing lots of work then.
Yeah. Sometimes my
Yeah.
wife, she's good.
She's the
at
one
that. Yeah.
taking care of that. All right, so now we've done motorcycle seats.
Done motorcycle seats, and the second one I did one for my pops, and it took 70 hours to hand stitch that. It was
Wow.
a very complicated seat, and at that point I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go buy a sewing machine. So I bought a sewing machine at Cobra Class 20 from you guys.
Yeah.
And I've always loved leather jackets, so I thought, it's not that much different than putting together a motorcycle seat, so I'll try my hand. So I got some heavy canvas from a local fabric store. Took apart an old jacket from the 1950s I had that a friend had given me. It was coming apart at the seams. The cotton stitching was giving up. So I took it apart, made some adjustments to the pattern to get it to fit me better, and then I made one out of canvas. Took me a solid week of trying to figure out how to do all that stuff, and I got it, and came in and bought a full hide of your black Venetian leather, which
Okay, yeah.
I love.
Yeah, we almost went that route until I found this gray, and I thought we'd do something different.
Yeah, and it's very similar, very waxy, and it kinda
So a
has
lot of the
similar
stuff
feel.
like motorcycle seats, leather jackets, stuff like that seems to be like the finishing work that people would be. Everybody's going to look at a motorcycle seat.
Yeah.
Because when you're usually showing off a motorcycle, you're not sitting on it. And when you do sit on it, you got to look to sit on it. So
That's
people are
true.
checking that out.
Yeah, sure.
And then you're wearing a leather jacket while you're doing it. So people are like, that's like the finished type of work.
Yeah.
Like forefront in your mind. It's not a wallet that you tuck in your pocket that
No.
maybe you messed up some stitches, or maybe it wasn't just completely. So we're not going to that. We're doing like finished type of work.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? What was your before leather adventure? What's your 9 to 5, or was your 9 to 5?
Always worked with my hands, so finished carpentry.
Okay.
From the time I was in my younger 20s until just the last few years, when my back says, no, stop, because you're old.
Yeah.
That's kind of what
Or you can
happened.
move up to chair rail.
Yeah, well,
You can just finish carpentry on chair rail. That would have to bend over. Or maybe you can do it like crown molding
yeah.
up top.
Oh, that's just as bad. Up and down ladders and standing like that.
We'll just get you
know?
like. What if we just get you like a? What if we can get a one wheel so you can just cruise around on a one wheel, and then you go up to a ramp and it just raises you up. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to climb it. It just raises you up.
Rig it up.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Justin,
Stop.
I'm trying to read this chat. I'm on the wrong side to read. I have no leather jackets either. Been collecting leather so I can make mine, says Michael Seeger. I need to make a jacket to match my vintage sports bike.
Hasn't really been any question.
Not really a question, just kind of comments going along. So finished carpentry brings you to deciding that you can tackle a leather jacket.
I tried it, and it came pretty natural to me
So
for
you
some reason.
You picked up a jacket, and I think Denny and Liz and I have all talked about this. Of if you don't have a pattern and you want to make something, go to a thrift store. Find something that you have that you like that style. Take it apart.
Yeah.
Modify it where you need it to be modified, and use that. Think about the hours that went into, a Louis bag from the very beginning till now.
Oh yeah.
Or your top of the line jackets, the engineering that people thought of to try to make those fit to somebody. You like the way it fits, but maybe you want to change something a little bit different to fit your body style. of what's happening with it. Make modifications and
Yes.
and make it happen. So
Yeah, that was the only way for me. I have no patterning background whatsoever. Nothing.
I know
So-
we got some patterns laying over here. We're going to talk about those
Yeah,
in,
we
in,
can.
in a second. So did you make your patterns off that first jacket that you took apart and then
Yeah.
modified from there?
Yes, I just took it apart, kind of tried to reverse engineer and understand how it went together and all the different spots, so I didn't mess anything up, which I did on the first one. I totally messed the liner up on the first canvas jacket, because that was a mind-bending experience for me, not ever having sewn anything with a machine and never putting any kind of a garment together. It was
Yeah.
difficult for me to figure out, but I finally did, and I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, just take the jacket apart, lay the panels out, take a couple pictures before of how it fit, where you want it longer, where you want it trimmer, where you need it a little bit wider, and then kind of trial and error. I think I've made 4 of this kind of jacket, this particular one, and every time I've made one, I've changed the pattern to get it dialed in. And this one's dialed in for me.
Yeah.
Fine.
And so we got a size 40
Yes.
marked on here.
Yeah.
Do you have
That's my
other
size.
sizes yet? Because I know, like, when we were adjusting, we talked about it a little bit, and adjusting, like, say you wanted your bifold wallet to be a little bit longer.
That's easy.
That's easy.
Yeah.
How is resizing a jacket? Do I just make this side longer? Do I just make it?
Again,
Taller?
this is something I don't have a lot of experience in, but that's called pattern grading.
Yeah, I know you've done some research in it, so
Yeah.
I'm fair of asking the question.
Yeah, so you can't just enlarge each panel because it will lose its proportions. So it takes somebody with the knowledge of how to lengthen it where, how to widen it here in different increments, which is kind of beyond me. I have books, and I was going to do all my own pattern grading, and just 3 days ago, I think it was Friday, I decided I'm sending that all off to a professional. So I got in contact with someone.
Yeah.
And after we're done with these videos, I'm going to trace all my patterns, and I'm going to send this person.
So they go to school for pattern grading, or somebody else teaches
Yes.
them. Is there a school for it?
Not to my knowledge, I have no idea.
Yeah. So I can't just go, oh, I want the sleeve to be longer. I'm just gonna add 2 inches on it.
And from what I understand, you don't just want to all add it at the end because that's going to change your taper. I think you would add it your length here and then maybe some length here.
I got you.
Which is what I do if I'm trying to lengthen a sleeve, I'll try to put it in here and then kind of keep the taper the same way.
kind of make it proportionally so
Yeah.
that I don't get down to the wrist and I keep tapering off, and now I've got a
Super
cuff that I
tight,
can't
yeah.
stick I got to trim my hand off to be able to stick
True.
through the cuff.
I like my cuffs pretty tight though because I ride
Yeah,
a
I like to
motorcycle,
not
so
have
I
to
don't-
trim my hand.
Yeah, well, you don't want to trim your hand.
Yeah, it would be life altering.
It would be.
Part of the West wants to know what the hardest part for you to do in the beginning. For me, it was all the zippers.
Yeah, the pocket zippers. It took me a little bit to get a formula down, and I can't even say that I have it down. It probably takes me longer than it should, but I figured out a way to do it without me missing the pocket or the zipper tape. Because I did run into an issue where I missed the top of the zipper tape one time trying to sew it all together at once. So now I'll sew the welts with the zipper before I put it into the pocket space.
So as we move along through this jacket, there's some things that we'll talk about. Most things we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But then there's other information that we're not going to cover, because I know whenever you went in this adventure, there wasn't really that information that was out there.
Yeah.
It was kind of figure it out for yourself. Talking about motorcycles, you remember it was a while back, Harley took other motorcycle companies to court over the sound.
Yeah.
Kawasaki and,
Oh, yeah.
and General, they took Kawasaki and they said, well, they stole our sound. I'm sure the way that they ran their exhaust, the way that they have things milled, made a certain sound.
Potato, potato, potato.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now we have the same type of thing with handbags, with jackets, where there's just certain parts of information that aren't readily available of how to do that. So whenever you first did your liner and you said you messed it up, did you learn from somebody?
No.
There's no, as far as I know, there's no information out there of
No,
how to do
I
it.
couldn't find any of it, and that's why I thought maybe I don't want to show that part. And it's not because I'm trying to be Promethean or to protect some magic process that I figured out. It's that there are people that make jackets for a living, and I don't want to upset them by
Mm-hmm.
giving away some kind of what may be a trade secret or something.
Right.
And it may not be. It may be just like.
So do you have any avenues that you could share, like jacket makers that they have like a Discord or they have a Facebook page that they hang out on? Or is
No.
it just people that have kind
It's
of...
really hard to find.
It is hard to find. Going to YouTube school on how to make a leather jacket, it was rough. You get little excerpts,
Yeah.
and you can find some dudes in Japan showing different parts of it, but it's real fast and not real detailed. Yeah, so I just kind of had to figure it out.
Do you have people that you contact that also make leather jackets now? No?
No,
You
I
know
don't
you're-
bug anybody.
No?
No. Nope.
Very good.
I have a few questions.
Okay.
One of them being, would it be sacrilegious by putting a hood on the jacket?
If that's what you want. If
So
you want
when
a
I'm
hood.
enlarging the right sleeve for my dead arm and its brace, do I enlarge it at the long sleeve?
Yeah, and I think that was kind of what it was. You can't just add the length in one area. You got to put it in some different areas to make it. And I know you just did one of these last jackets for a guy that doesn't live in Springfield,
Correct.
and you sent back and forth a pattern that you had done out of canvas. Sent it to him, and he was like, "I want it different here."
Yes.
Send it back to you. You made some adjustments. You send it back to him. Tries it on again, type of thing.
Yeah, actually, we just did the volley once with the canvas jacket. I
Uh-huh.
sent it to him. He actually has his own sewing machine, so he kind of altered where it needed to be altered,
Okay.
and then just took pictures of it with all the different measurements going down through the waist and where they needed to land through the chest, and then I just went from there and made the leather version.
So if you can, instead of using a leather one, make it out of canvas or
Canvas.
something. Yeah, something
Yeah.
that a cheaper material. Try it out,
a
and
heavy
then
canvas.
take it back apart, lay it out,
No, I never took it apart. I just
altered your patterns as you did it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once it's made, it's more of a pain for me to take it apart and remake it than it is just start from scratch. At least on a canvas jacket,
Yeah.
there's a lot of steps you can skip on
Yeah.
on a canvas jacket just for a mock-up.
Probably not putting pockets with zippers in it.
Yeah, well, I did that because I needed the practice, but
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. No.
Yeah.
If I'm just making a mock jacket, I'll just make it as
So we
bare
talked
bones
about-
as possible.
So we talked about Venetian leather. I know you've done stuff out of SB foot leather. I picked out a chrome tan leather that's got a pretty waxy finish, not a heavy oil content
No, but it's slippery.
to it. Is there a leather that's not right for a leather jacket?
I would say, at least for my machines, anything bigger than 4 ounce.
Okay.
Heavier than 4 ounce, most machines don't want to.
What's the
Let's do
ideal
that.
weight that you have found for you?
3.5.
3 to 3.5?
Yep, is what I really like because I like it to be pretty robust, and I'm gonna definitely branch out and start making some thinner ones that are more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I really like a
What did
beefy
we do?
jacket.
What did we do mine at?
I think we did 2.5 to 3 with yours.
Yeah.
And so that'll be nice to see how that goes together.
Right
Yeah.
at 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. And some parts are thicker than the others, but this is probably 3.
So leather weight is important. So if you can get it and you can skive it or have it split down. Now we've got it split down. We can get anything down to a 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Is there any other leather? Is it like a leather type that you wouldn't use?
No, not that I've found so far.
Yeah.
I mean, there are those that I prefer and others that I would just leave alone, but
And it's mostly just the quality of it. Maybe it just
Yeah.
Doesn't have a good tensile strength to it,
Yeah,
or
like-
something like that, or the
like
leather
that.
is dry itself. It's something that was setting around. That's not a good
yeah,
piece
that
of leather.
that might not behave very well when you're hammering your seams flat, and it
Yeah.
might want to split on you or do something like that. But no, I like to see how it feels. I like to see if it's got a good sheen to it, any kind of interesting graining right out of the gate, or I'll take a little sample piece and I'll get it wet and I'll crumple it up and see what it turns into in short order. That way you can get a look at kind of how it's going to turn as you wear it. So
I know that I was looking at that SB foot earlier, before you had gotten it, and I showed it to you, and I was like, this seems like it's really firm. And you're like, oh no, it's going to be perfect. And I was like, man,
yeah,
it just stands up.
it does.
And then we walked around, we split it, we looked at some other stuff, and you're fiddling with it, and we walk around, and we get done, and you're like, here,
yeah,
this is what it's going to be after you wear the jacket for a while. It was in a shape, I was like, okay.
yeah.
And you
it's
brought the
softened up.
jacket back in before, and it's not stiff. It's a little bit firmer than this one, but it's still,
Yeah.
it's still really nice. I mean, you don't have very many hours on the wear of it, but
Yeah, well, for the first week, that jacket, I could take it off and just stand it on the table.
yeah.
And I think that's kind of cool. But after wearing it, and after it got a little wet one time in a little bit of rain, it just went to butter.
Yeah.
So, in most places, it's still got
So-
some work.
Does this have a conditioner on top of it, or like a rain repellent on them?
This is veg tan, so I did hit this with a conditioner called Urad Tenderly when I was done. Because I spray bottled this one. It was very stiff when I first
Yeah.
got it. So I spray bottled it, let it dry out, and then I hit it with a really light coat. And for this particular leather, that works out very well. This is the second jacket I've done in that.
Yeah, and that's not a conditioner we carry. What was the name of it again?
Urad Tenderly.
Urad Tenderly.
But Big 4 would work just as well. I just like the smell of that Urad. So
What's it smell like?
hand lotion or something. it smells okay. It smells good.
All right, so leather type doesn't really matter, but quality of leather does matter. Getting it to
Yeah.
the 2.5 to maybe 3.5, anything under 4 range.
Correct. At least for me. There are some makers out there that'll make you a beast, a 4.5, 5 ounce jacket. They've got the machinery and the experience
Yeah.
to do that. I don't have very good luck going heavier than 4. I did a Chrome XL steer hide cafe racer, and I fought it
Yeah.
it a lot. 'Cause it was just so thick. I had to go very slow. All the little speed bumps,
Uh huh.
that you come to.
All the seams coming together.
seams, yeah, it was a very slow process, and I think up here where the collar joins the shoulder,
Yeah.
my machine just said no,
Right.
nope, we're not doing that. So I just skipped it and started an inch past it or whatever. But
Right.
that's before I thought to skive anything. I just went full blown. Let's try it. Let's test the limits of this Cobra, and I did. I found them.
Yeah, so I know we talked about last week when you came in about a bell knife skiver and the benefits of it. So it could be. Yeah, I know.
I want one.
I know, but you got a baby at the
That's
house.
true, but.
Once that crib is gone, though.
Yeah, I could just move her to the backyard, get
Yeah.
a little outbuilding. And she
Well,
could
you
live
could
out there.
maybe you just put a
Maybe
lid
I
on
could live out there.
put a lid on the crib
Oh yeah.
because she'll be
Yeah,
protected.
that's true.
She
Get
yes,
some of this acoustic paneling and
boy or girl.
girl.
Good. I have 2 girls.
Yeah, sweet little girl.
Very nice. Well, congratulations on that. Well, so I picked out my leather. We brought another piece aside in here. The Sensation comes in full hides, but using a side, 2 sides, 2.5 sides, 3 sides.
Yeah, 35 feet is what I usually end up using for a size 40, and I'm sure that'll be different for a size 46.
Right.
You know. But yeah, if I'm starting with 2 sides, I generally have plenty.
Okay. Well, let's lay out a side here, and we're going to lay out our patterns.
We got rated by Christina Leather.
Christina Leather, she's from, I believe she was from Ohio originally, but now she lives Argentina, maybe. I know she lives out of the country.
Okay.
now. So on Twitch, there's other people that just watch stuff and they'll come and watch a stream. So a bunch of people that were watching her decided to come in and watch that. New Jersey and Portugal. So I was wrong on both. So very good. Glad I could screw that all up for you, Christina. So, but she does leather crafting stuff down
Cool.
there as well. We're going to lay out our side of leather and talk about where we're pulling our parts from. Maybe parts that aren't good or that you should pull a different piece from, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about that a little bit. So this is a side that Liz sold on live shopping last week.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like a stone color.
Yeah, like with a green tint.
Yeah, with a green hue.
All right, we've got a side up here, and we got our patterns.
So, it's a real mess the way I have my pattern organized
Right.
today.
I mean, you got L's and R's on them, so that works out pretty good.
Yeah, that helps, but I've got lining pieces in here. I've got like 5 different sleeves for different zipper configurations. Hey, that one says your name on it. We'll just
Dang.
try that one. Look at that. So yeah, so for you, we are about the same size.
Yeah.
However, you could probably squeeze into a 42. You're a little broader in the shoulders
Yeah.
than I am, so I don't have that 42. So what I did is I just made yours, I added a 1/4 inch to each shoulder here, which will be a 1/2 inch all the way around. And what else did I do? You said you wanted a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah.
So you can see this dips in really far to kind of suck the middle
Yeah,
of the
this one's a
waist
little
in.
flatter.
And I added about a 1/2 inch through here. And I also added a little bit on the side panel to give you a little bit more breathing room.
Very good.
I guess we're switching spaces.
Well, I'm switching sides so I can read the chat.
Oh, yeah, you read that. I can't see it because I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah.
Okay, so which parts do we want to see here? That's...
So your main panels, you take that kind of out of the heart.
Yeah, I'll try to find a large area that's consistent. And then first what I'll do is I'll kind of... Each hide seems different to me, like it'll have a stretch one way or the other. Some have none, like this is so thick it's not really stretching. But I'll try to get the direction that will stretch with the body this way.
Okay, so if you take a deep breath or something like
So
that.
if you take it, or you're moving, the leather will move with you a
Okay.
little better than if
Yeah.
you did it opposite and you got the real tense direction of the grain. So yeah, just find a place that's really consistent. You don't have any, I mean, some of the scars and stuff look really cool, but I like to try to match my panels a little bit. I know some people, they think it looks cool when you got a lot of grain over here and then it's smooth in different places. I like it to be consistent and hope that it will.
I guess if there's enough grain to make it like purposeful, like if you
Yeah.
got a bunch of fat wrinkles on one side.
Yeah, and if I find some fat wrinkles, I like to either put those up here or put them up here.
Okay.
And I think that looks cool, as long as I can, have some symmetry. I don't like it just in one spot.
Incorporating the characteristics of the hide.
Yeah, and you can definitely do that. And I'll look at the back of the hide too to make sure there are no kind of deep scratches on the back
Okay.
that are going to be, especially in a place where your arms are moving a lot.
Like you're not going to put a deep scratch in the elbow.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen with that.
Right.
And I try not to use any deep scratches. Sometimes you can't avoid scratches, so just put those somewhere that's not going to be moving a lot, and I assume it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just find places. For the belly and all the random spots, I'll save that for my pocket welts.
Okay.
And I think on this jacket there are 14 of these little guys. So I'll just get them anywhere I can, and I try to use as thin of a piece of hide as possible to do those, because you'll be bending them and gluing them and hammering them to make them.
So I know when Denny laid out for his saddle, he marked the top side of the leather. Whenever you're doing the jacket, you mark out the top side of it as well.
Yes.
And then cut from this side.
Yeah, definitely. And then I'll go around with my little leather pen and mark any insect bites or anything like this. It's almost a gouge. I'll mark that so I don't accidentally lay a panel over it.
Okay.
Or if I can, I'll get that in a pocket.
Oh, there you go.
or something
Nice.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so just think about it. Make sure that you're putting all your pieces in the right place before you even mark anything, to make sure you're going to have enough,
Right.
or that you have access to more if you.
So on your
you,
back panel, you usually cutting that out of the butt area.
I'll just
does
go
it-
through it. I
doesn't
don't
really-
really have a rhyme or reason. I
Yeah.
just try to see where I can fit everything, and try to get
Utilize
consistent feel, consistent
Look.
yeah, and aesthetic. So everywhere on the hide is a slightly different thickness.
So a
in
little
my
bit
experience.
different than the saddle wise, because he's using full skirting.
Yeah,
so
so
you're
it's heavy.
It's super heavy,
yeah.
and there's certain parts of the saddle that just need more wear and tear on them.
And he knows from years of experience where
Yeah.
to put that. I'm still learning. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, very cool.
Anyway, yeah, you'll just lay all your pieces out. Once you get them in a spot where you think you're going to have enough and it's all going to look right, then start marking it. And I like to use your little silver leather pen. It works on almost every hide I've used.
And the good thing about it is when you get done with it and say you did mark a bug bite, but it was going to be incorporated into a finished area that you're going to see, you just take the little eraser and you just erase it back
Just
off.
Wipe it right off, which is cool.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Somebody else, Meyer said, took apart a cheap thrift one to see how it was constructed.
Good plan.
There's a reason, even companies that mass produce leather jackets, there was time that somebody took to design it and reasons that
Oh,
they
yeah.
did stuff.
And from what I can tell, there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't do anything from scratch. I just modify it. But here is, after we lay it out, here's kind of what everything looks like very plain and boring panels.
I got a Superman shield.
Got a Superman shield, of course. To finish that out, let me see if I can find the rest of my pieces here. I've just got a mess. There's a top yoke. Ooh, not on
Top yoke.
Yes, there's a yoke, and then here's the little bottom panel. That'll give it just a little bit of character at the bottom.
Very good. So I'm learning. Does this piece have a name? Just the back.
I just call it a center back bodice piece.
Bodice.
Yeah, or body, whatever.
And yoke.
And a yoke. Yep.
Is that the actual name for it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a yoke. That's a yoke.
I ain't yoking you.
I'm not yoking.
All right.
So once I cut it out, I'll go ahead. You don't have to. I like to use just a very thin coat of your Aqualim glue.
Okay.
Just to
Did
kind
we
of keep
get any of
everything
that?
from sliding.
I know we
No,
talked about it, but I don't know we haven't got any.
I know where to find it. But you don't have to do that. This hide is very slick with all the waxes, so things tend to shift, and you can use clips. Pins aren't really an option with leather. I mean, I guess if you got it right out at the end, that was going to be hidden in your seam, you could use pins, but it's hard to push a pin through leather. So you can use little plastic clips, things like that, just to keep everything straight while you're running it through the machine. I like just a super thin coat of water-based glue.
On two sides, on both pieces?
Both sides of the face. And I don't do it on a leather that's not real slick, but this is very slick, so.
Well, it's good, and its initial contact
Yeah.
is pretty high. You know, you don't get a pull apart on that first initial contact, so.
Yeah, and it doesn't even stay permanent. Like by the time I've turned the sleeves inside and out, after I've done that on the sleeves, that glue joint's loose, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. It was just there to help me sew it straight.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've gone and I've kind of scuffed the
scratched all
edges,
around
because that will help any glue adhere to that. And you can use basting tape, and like I said, you don't have to do this at all. You can use clips.
What's your preferred cutting method of cutting out your parts, since we didn't look at that part? This is what, 2 hours worth of cutting?
Yeah, and for me, most of it, I just use a pair of good shears.
Okay.
It's easier. It goes quicker for me. I mean, I can do it with a knife, and I've done it with a knife. It just seems to take longer for me to do it with a knife.
Yeah.
I just rather watch a movie with my scissors or something and do it that way.
Very good.
Yeah, and if it's really heavy, it's going to kill your hand cutting through it with scissors, so that's where you'll use the knife.
And then, so you cut all this out beforehand. The only other thing I see that you did was add us in some air holes.
Yeah, did these so your armpits can breathe, and I didn't think anybody needed a tutorial of how to set an eyelet.
We have an eyelet video.
Okay,
so if
there
you
you
want to
go.
go look at an eyelet, the only thing else that you did on the other side of it was add a little.
Yes, just because this leather is so thin and the eyelet is so long. I think these eyelets are designed for probably 5-ounce leather or
You
something.
needed a washer.
Yeah, so just basically a washer, and you don't feel that once it's in the
Very good.
once it's a sleeve. So I did that, and I've marked where my pockets go.
Marked
and
all
stuff
your
to save
zippers.
a little time. Yes. So
All right.
that's that.
Any questions on that part of that, and a front yoke too, I think.
Some designs will have front yoke. Yes, mine does not. Mine just boom. One piece.
When you look at it like this, it looks like just a Western vest.
Yeah.
You don't have the sleeves on it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like.
Have you done with
the
one
final
without
piece.
sleeves? Do you have
No.
your leather vest yet?
I have not.
No?
But this will be a leather vest before it's a jacket.
It's true.
Yes, there will be a moment in time when this is a vest.
All right. Let me see. Let's let people get. We answered that one. Definitely a must watch on YouTube. We took apart a. Bag stiffening and lining. What is your pattern cut out of? Poster board.
Just poster board. I mean, you can get
We talked about.
fancier than that.
We talked about the Bontex.
Yes.
We talked about the Bontex. The Bontex is really good for patterning. It doesn't squish around.
Yes, like I said, I'm still in the baby stages, so everything that I have is just getting me through until I've got my size ranges, and I will go to something more durable for a final pattern.
I believe it was it Thomas that was, no, David was asking about a tumbled veg. We were talking about just a natural veg, period, and just getting the patina to go along with it. You said you hadn't done it, but you want to, so we may end up making one at some point.
That would be cool.
Or commissioning you to do one out of Herman Oak.
That would be cool. Veg tan jackets are awesome.
And you just keep it thin, and it's the same thing. It just
You might have
wearing
to,
it, moving around.
I would assume you might want to get it wet or case it. I guess they call it
Uh-huh.
casing it when you're doing tooling, but I would get it wet around some seams before you go hammering, so you don't split it,
Man,
break it apart.
Right. Yeah, just get it a little bit lubricated right there, so
Yeah.
that when you do smash it, and then especially with veg chain, you're going to be getting it super flat thin. That'll
Oh yeah.
hammer out nice.
So
Why not have a spinal pleat to allow relief when the jacket is closed for a better arm movement?
Okay, so yeah, there are many different designs for that action backs. I know how to do one.
Okay.
Aesthetically, I don't like them. I
Yeah.
don't like any kind of action back on my personal jacket, so I don't have any with action backs. If someone wants one and they beg me, I might make one with an action back it's just a few extra panels and some elastic.
Yeah.
So if you don't see it, it's because I don't like it.
This is based off a
Basically.
1950s jacket that you found in a thrift store that you liked.
This one, I think, is a 60s or 70s jacket. It didn't have a maker's tag on it. It was... I've got it narrowed down to maybe 2 makers who it might be. But there were no tags, and it was very similar to this. I added the top yoke, and it had some great big bottom yoke or kidney panel that I didn't like, so I just kind of changed it up. And it actually had an action back.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it, so you took that
I
part
didn't
out.
like the way it looked when I was wearing it. And that's basically true with any jacket I have with the action back. I tend to move those on for ones that are a little cleaner, just for aesthetic purposes. And yes, you do lose a little range of motion.
Yeah.
But if you build in a little extra material back there, you can move.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you're stretched out and you're writing anyway,
Yeah.
you've stretched out all of the
Yeah.
action part
It'll-
of it. So it's going to look good while you're writing. It's not going to flop in the wind.
No, it's not. No, and it's going to feel great.
It's going to be a little bit looser when you stand up and you're not stretched out.
Correct.
Yeah.
And especially after your elastic band starts to wear in there, it'll kind of look a little sloppy in the back when you're relaxed.
So if you want an action back, you can put an action back in yours.
Yes.
We're not doing an action back in this one.
Yes, I just don't
For the
like
main
design.
reason, because Mark doesn't like it, and Mark's making the jacket.
That's right.
So Mark said no.
Yeah, Mark's a diva. He's not going to do
Oh, we got him
action
set
back.
up with all sorts of light over here by the sewing machine. He's like, if I can just be a little bit of a diva for a minute.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
I asked-
we're here for you.
I asked for a cooler of Red Bulls and a bowl of green M&Ms, and I don't see any of it. So
Actually, Rusty ran to the store whenever he came in. I gave him a piece of paper with that order.
okay, good.
So if he doesn't come back, that's on him.
Okay,
And since he's the president of the company, you can't hate me for it.
okay, I won't. As long as they're peanut M&Ms, we'll be good.
Oh, shoot, I wrote down caramel.
We're done.
Oh, dang it. All right, well, that's
I got
the
it.
video for the week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, so we're gonna build half of the jacket wise, because there's a lot of redundancy in it. The left side is going to be like the right side as far as the pockets go, except for that's just going to be on the other side of the jacket. So a little bit of that we're not going to do some of the redundancy. If you did watch along with the saddle video, there was some of that. All the tooling took place. Most of the tooling took place off camera on that. Could it be completed by hand stitching? It can. Anything
Sure.
can be completed by hand stitching it. If you have enough time and you're good at not hitting your hands.
Yeah, it will take you a long time, but you can do it.
Yep. No, an action back is different.
Okay, so there are different ways to achieve movement in the back. Yeah, you can use a center pleat. There's all kinds of different designs, but
You could put vent holes back there if you
yeah,
wanted to.
you can do what you want to do.
We're gonna do it this style,
We're going to do it this way
and then
because I like it.
that's the style we're going with. So we're sticking with that. Let's see. Have you put in shoulder gussets on the back of any of your jackets?
I have not.
When we get to that point, we will talk more about it. So if you just hold on to that running water, when we get to a shoulder area, we'll talk about what you can do and what we're not doing.
Yes, that's just a few extra, excuse me, pieces back here. So your center back piece will be a little narrower, and you'll have 2 extra panels
Okay.
on each side.
I'm glad you know what all these questions mean.
I kind of know.
Is this a Bob Dylan leather jacket?
Is this a Bob Dylan leather jacket?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Was that a question somewhere?
Yeah, on Twitch.
We'll Google a Bob Dylan jacket.
Okay, that'll work.
Yay. He always sing. He had a very eclectic voice. I'm sure he still has an eclectic voice. All right,
Definitely got his thing going.
what are we doing?
You tell me.
What's next? We've talked about all the pieces. We've answered question. We've talked abode Dylan. Bod Dylan? B-O-D? You've lost both of us.
Yep, I don't know.
We've answered all the questions we had.
No, it does not look anything.
Justin has Googled it and he said no.
Okay, definitive answer.
All right.
So what I'll usually do when I'm doing this at home is I'll put the back piece together first.
All right. Do we need glue for that?
We'll need a little bit of glue for that. Is this Aqualim?
That is.
Okay. 'Cause I
Is
will be
this
diva.
the new version?
No.
'Kay.
I don't think we've still gotten that in yet.
Yeah, we haven't gotten it.
I have some of the new version and somewhere.
Brag about
Oh wait, it's actually out. It's hit the streets.
I don't think
Just
No,
heard
it
about
was.
Oh, look at what I've done.
You almost stripped it right on there.
See now, I'm
No,
not dipping.
Reiner brought some in here for us to test, and so I still have mine from the stuff that he brought me.
So I'm gonna have to learn how to control that little squeeze bottle because I've already got too much on my little silicone brush. And it does not have to be consistent. I just do maybe not even a quarter of an inch just across there. Just little spots so it stays.
I know you just started using the silicone brush.
Yeah, you turned me onto that.
What do
and
you
it was
think
kind
of
of a dummy moment because I've been just burning through craft brushes. I think it's great. I've used it once. And it was
Use it
great.
once and I'm sold.
And I'm sold.
Do you want to?
So there, that's all that takes.
Do I have a plate in here?
Yeah, we need some kind of a plate situation.
Let me run up to the break room and get a plate.
Yeah,
so we
you
can
go get a
just put
plate.
some glue on it, and then you can just pick up some.
straight in the clipping shop above the water cooler.
Okay.
There, that's plenty. Like Bob Ross with this little brush. Paint my happy little glue line.
It's always the pressure to figure out how to work and talk at the same time.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
If you're anything like me, a lot of leather workers do their work alone.
Yeah, but I talk to myself when I'm alone, so
Oh, that works out then.
that's fine. I'm not used to this brush, nor am I used to squeezing it out onto the brush, so
Yeah.
I might stumble for a minute trying to figure out how to make this go quicker.
Yeah, Tony's getting you.
Oh, he's got a plate. Yeah.
Tony, Terry said someone needs to get you a caffeine injection. You look very tired. I told him you're still in beach mentality.
Yeah, you were where?
Somebody else said I looked tired. I was like, I don't feel tired.
I don't think you look
You
tired.
look relaxed. I think that's what they're it's not
Yeah.
tired, you're relaxed.
I listened to Bob Marley.
Ah,
Do you remember the
explains a lot.
any of the information on the new version? Someone asked what the new version was of Aqualand.
Yeah, I would like to know more as well.
It'll still be water based. The only thing they did, they changed a little bit of the formula on it for the initial contact to be even stronger than it is. Not that it was bad before.
Faster.
Sets way faster.
Yeah.
He'll be here in August, so when he's here in August, we can have him.
They were still deciding. They were still deciding what they were going to do with it, and more than likely, if it does change, it'll be new and improved
Yeah, it'll
type
still
of
be
thing.
the 315 and
Minor changes.
yeah.
So if we don't like it, can we get the old stuff? Or they're doing away with the old stuff?
I think that was what they were deciding with more of the testing that they were doing. Was there going to be anything that would have changed it that people wouldn't like about it?
Okay.
So
That's an impossible question.
it was a very. I probably shouldn't even say anything about it, but this is what I do.
You say things.
Yeah, I just talk. Give more information than should actually be given. So sue me. Call your congressman.
Call your congressman. Okay, that's dry enough. It doesn't even have to be dry. Like I said, this is not structural at all. It just kind of helps you. You want to go right side to right side, so.
Okay. So then when you flip it,
Yeah, so that when you flip it, it will be correct. So this panel is actually a little bit bigger there.
how did we actually get that camera in the right spot, or did you move it?
I moved it.
Okay. I was like, dang.
So at this point, you don't really need to use clips or anything. Just keep it straight in the machine. That's all this is doing.
So now are you going to sew this too?
Sure.
Is this you normally do?
Yeah.
You normally sew? Okay. Well, we got a class 20 over here. What thread, weight, and type are you using?
Okay, for this jacket, you wanted black. And this is 2.5 ounce leather, so it's thinner than what I'm usually doing. I'm going with a cotton wrapped polycore Tex 90.
Tex 90.
Yeah, it's called Performax.
Performax.
Yeah,
Where
so-
do you pick that up at?
I order it online. Do
Okay.
you want to know where I ordered it online?
It's not gonna bother me. We
Okay.
don't carry it.
Wawak Sewing Supplies.
Wawak?
Yeah.
We recommend them a lot for weird needles
Okay.
and things.
For
we go.
weird needles and stuff. So
WAWAK.
There you go.
there's the thing. Like we're not scared on that part. If we don't carry it, we're gonna help you find
Yeah.
where you need to go to get it.
So for any other leather project, wallets, seat covers, I like the nylon. I like the bonded nylon that you guys have. But for a leather jacket, I like the feel of the cotton and knowing that you have the
look,
polycore.
the feel of cotton.
Yeah.
Isn't that a commercial?
Maybe. Probably.
It is.
So I'll use that, or I'll use poly wrapped polycore, anything that gives it a nice soft feel and
Yeah.
a nice little sheen to it, but not too much sheen.
Perfect. What size needle are we using?
We're using an 18
An
for this, and
18.
we'll see if that gets us through. We might switch to a 20 in some spots later.
Okay. So Tex 90 and an 18 size needle and same size thread top and bottom.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
That's what we're doing.
We're gonna go over here and sew.
Yes, we are. And we're gonna watch me stumble and fight because I don't have my normal foot on here. We got the
So-
standard Cobra foot.
So we got a standard Cobra foot. I assume tomorrow you'll probably bring.
Yeah, I
your-
meant to grab that this morning. So I use about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So without my fancy upholstery foot, I'll just have to kind of do it by eyeball here, which is fine. And that's what
We have that edge guide on there.
No.
You didn't want it.
No, I don't. It gets in my way later. So, and you can either back tack this or just tie it off. I generally like to tie them off.
Okay.
Like, here, example, you can back tack it 2 or 3 stitches,
Yeah.
and it's fine. Sometimes I find that it's hard to pull a thread back through. I think it has to do with the diamond needle, kind of.
Yeah.
It might hit the thread
Hit the
and
thread.
cut it. So that's how it goes. Okay. It's not rocket science, and you don't have to be super precise. Be precise if you can. Try to keep about a 1/2 inch.
So 1/2 inch seam allowance.
That's what I use for,
Yeah.
for my patterns. I know it varies, but as long as I'm somewhere in the realms of a 1/2 inch.
You measure like Denny does. Just use your eyeball.
Yeah, just use the eyeball. And I'm not going to back tack that one.
So we can look at it both ways. So now we're just gonna
Yeah, well, I can pull that up.
cut you enough.
Yep, just cut enough to pull it through. And like I said, I kind of like to tie it better than I like to just back tack and clip it. It takes longer, but I know that it'll be secure. And it's kind of redundant anyway because you're going to be sewing over this again with a top stitch, and it's going to be joined to the side panel. So it's really just OCD at
So-
this point.
Clip them off. No
Yep.
need.
Now
to-
this one I won't need to tie because I back tacked it just for. But see.
Now you can't pull
I
it
can't
through.
pull it through. So I dig it out with my little seam ripper. And if I can't, I don't care because this is all hidden anyway. So I would not do that on a top stitch though.
Right.
So there's that. And then now when you pull this over, you're going to be ready for a top stitch, which I will probably put a little bit of glue on and press it down really tight so it's not loose
Okay.
and we don't run into any skip stitches.
So then
This-
you'll run a stitch along that after it's folded over.
Yes.
Nice.
Either after I sew this piece on or
Okay.
just however I feel like doing it. So I'll go stick this
We'll stick the yoke
top
on.
yoke on there. Yes.
I'm assuming you're going to do the whole project on a flatbed.
We're gonna switch to a 26.
Yeah, when we attach the sleeves, I'm going to use the cylinder arm, and then when I attach the, which we may not show, the lining cuffs, I use a cylinder arm. That's the only 2 steps that I need to use that on. Because I find everything else just to be more straightforward on a flatbed. I'm sure someone with more skill and more experience on a cylinder arm would do a lot more of it with that machine, but that's what works for me.
Yeah, and if you just have a 26, You can get the flatbed
Yeah.
to go on it, and then
Yeah, I don't have a 26. I would like a 26. One of these days.
yeah.
I have a Conso
Okay.
cylinder arm. And it's pretty cool.
The basic styles of all of them, the heavy industrial machines, they're all built off the same casts.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about them, actually. You probably know a lot more than I do. So here I'm
It's just that the interior pieces are different, and then your different warranties, things like that.
Yeah,
Customer service.
things like that. But I'm really happy with the Cobra.
Yeah.
It's been a great machine. My Conso is a Japanese-made machine. And I think the Cobra runs smoother everywhere. It may be because my machine was used and I don't know what it's been through, but
Right.
it seems to work pretty well. So I just put a little bit more glue back here on one side so that when I fold this over and try to get it,
Pull it
you know,
down.
pull it down and flat as possible, it's not fighting me when I'm running the machine. I don't have to try to spread it and keep it consistent as I'm working through. I can just kind of set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Plus the glue keeps it from popping back up, which can cause skip stitches.
Yeah.
So I don't like skip stitches. I will not tolerate that.
What did we say that thing was?
What thing?
There was a infomercial that had a set it and forget it
Yeah.
guy.
I don't know who that guy is. I remember the ShamWow guy though. He was pretty fun.
Rob Field.
So there, you can do that, or you can hammer it flat if you need to, if it's thicker.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just fine. Actually, without my upholstery foot, I might hit it with a hammer. Can we do that?
I got a hammer.
'Cause my upholstery foot will press this down as it's going, but I don't have that going on with this, so we'll just very lightly tap it down, make it flat, and hope for the best.
Very good. My chat on Twitch over here paused, Justin.
It's still the fabric of our lives is the last thing you see.
No, I see Christina saying something to Crapstick.
Am I on it?
Yep, there you go. The fabric of our lives. Nice.
Cotton,
What is he making?
is that the fabric of our lives?
That's
Yeah.
First time chat for the new follower.
What is he making? He is making 7 bracing. We're making a leather jacket. So we're just getting started. This is day 1, but we did a half a day before. So Mark had cut everything out. So we cut everything out on day 0.
Day 0. So we ready for this other
Yeah, you're good.
scene?
Right there.
About a half inch.
Oh, it keeps on focusing on it.
Yeah, no, I moved the focus point to. I like it. It's better.
Let's tie this off really quick. I don't know where the camera is or what it's doing.
You're good. I'm
It's
following
right,
you.
right there on the foot.
I'll follow you. You don't have to worry about it.
I will follow you.
So this is boring, right? Tying threads.
It could, I mean,
It's
people
the
have
most-
literally watched us paint and then watch paint dry.
That
on this
sounds
stream,
exciting.
so.
That's leather work.
People love it. A lot of times people, this one I think they'll be paying a little bit more attention. A lot of times people will just put our videos on while they're
Lurking.
crafting.
Yeah, just for background noise instead of music.
Okay, so I'll kind of roll that up to get it through here. We'll do a top stitch. Let me see if I can find the magic spacing here. Do you have a preference? How wide do you want your top stitch to be? Do you care?
This is up to you.
Okay.
Do you just normally run one, or do you run two?
I just run one usually, unless somebody wants to. But we're
I know when
gonna
I make
run
my
one.
tote bags, I do too, just because I like it stylistically. But I'm doing like super contrast stitching.
on tote bags.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. I just generally do one.
no, I think one looks good.
I've done a jacket
for this
with
application.
two. Yeah. Let's see if I can keep it consistent with this foot. And I go very slow on my top stitches. I know it probably looks like remedial or something, but I do not like a wonky top stitch. So I take it as slow as I can.
There's something about a straight stitch
Oh,
that's
see, we skipped some. For some reason, we skipped. So I'm gonna bring it back. And then try to run it by hand, make sure it doesn't skip again. Okay, now we're probably cool. I don't know why it skipped. So I don't like it when it does that. I think I've got my tension set okay. I didn't spend a lot of time setting this machine up. My Cobra at home is
dialed in.
definitely dialed in for this thread and needle combination.
So this is a machine that is in the shop, so it gets used for many applications.
Yes.
It's getting adjusted all the time.
So we're going to go slow in case we get a skip stitch. I can catch it before it's too late. There are little ways to kind of fix that to where you don't see it, but it's annoying to do. And
Yeah, Denny's done he's done skip stitches, fixing them or going back and getting a piece of thread back in there that's just aesthetic.
yeah. Okay.
They've also watched me sew before, and that's even slower. So don't you worry.
Okay. I'm just going to check things out. Tension looks good. Stitch length looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Now, I definitely don't back tack on the top stitches. Ever. I know some people do, they're really good at it. I don't like it, I'd just rather tie them off. And I'll do 3 knots, which is, again, probably redundant, and you have to watch. It's not that fun to watch.
The lining he is probably just going to do at home.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to make the lining at home. I might show some of the process of putting it in.
If somebody
That's-
is local, we talked about it a little bit, and needs some help or talking stuff, we've communicated a little bit about that,
Yeah.
whether that's a possibility or not.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't want to upset somebody who does this for a living if it
Right.
may or may not be something they try to protect. So I don't want to upset any apple carts.
Not looking to be the bad guy.
No,
Other job
not the bad
I don't blame you.
I don't do this for a living, but I like it, and maybe someday I will. We'll see. Okay. Now I'm going to stick a little glue on here and press that flat, and then I'll do the top stitch on the yoke.
What was?
Are you saying things?
I started reading in the middle of it. I know that you are sending your patterns off to be graded when we get done with this. Are you going to offer them up for others to purchase, or is it just going to be patterns for you?
Yeah, I think I enjoy doing it so much. I think what I'll do is just make them and offer them for sale. And I've got people already who want some custom orders done, which is it's fine. I don't mind doing that. I don't like it as much as just making jackets. Here's what it is. If it fits you, you can buy it.
Right.
That's kind of the goal. But at the same time, I don't mind making alterations and things to get it to fit somebody just how they want it.
So the answer is yes, probably,
Yeah, but
I think, maybe.
If I make,
We'll see where it ends up. See, Mark talks like I do. He just starts saying stuff and goes,
yeah.
how are we going to make that work out?
If I ever say anything coherent, it's basically a miracle. Okay, this is taking me a long time here.
What's taking
Gotta
you a
speed
long
it up.
time?
spreading this glue with this silicone.
I do think though, like you did, anybody could do what you did. You went and you did the backwards engineering on the jacket.
Oh, man,
and
yeah.
You figured it out, and this video is really helping them along the way of doing that process.
You've made how many jackets now?
This is number 17.
This is number 17. So we're 17 jackets in to making this. We're confident enough to do that, and we learned from taking another jacket apart. Man, just get out there
Yeah.
and don't be shy.
No, I'm a dummy. If I can do it, anybody else can do it. Like, I've never used a sewing machine before. Before last November.
People just struggle with confidence sometimes, and they just need a little boost.
Oh, yes, we do. So I'll start in the middle there and pull that tight. And try to get this as consistent as possible. Oh, this hide's so thin and agreeable. I like it. With the heavier stuff, this is always a bit of a fight, and definitely hammers are involved.
Is on the lining part, is it making the lining that's the hard part?
No,
or
making
attaching? Making the lining is the easy part?
Yeah, it's easy.
Attaching it to the jacket is the part where it gets proprietary.
I don't know if it's
or-
proprietary, but I can't find any information on it, and that was the hardest thing for me to figure out. It's all upside down and backwards and not intuitive, unless you are somebody who already knows how to make garments. You know,
Yeah.
Well, and there's a.
it might be simple for somebody like that, but for me, it was not.
There's someone on Twitch who has made a jacket before, and they were saying that you can buy lining patterns that have instructions.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like making the lining part of it's not really the tough part.
No, that's very easy. It's dumb actually. Putting the sleeves into the lining, attaching the sleeves.
Yeah.
You got to do it inside out and backwards, so that when you pull them out, you're not feeling any of the seams. You know, all the seams are on the outside, which is opposite of how you're going to make a shirt or how you would make a jacket. You don't
I thought
wanna
maybe
see
like
any of the
upside down and
seams.
backwards, like you put an arm on that was the wrong way. So you like got one arm down here and one arm.
No, it looks like that when you're sewing it.
Yeah.
And especially when you're attaching the sleeve cuffs to the leather jacket, it's, I don't know, it kind of blew my mind, and it took me a couple tries to get it right.
Yeah.
But there, that looks pretty flat.
Now we'll top stitch that one.
Now we'll top stitch that one, and that part's done. Yay. We'll top stitch that. We'll roll this up. Get it out of my face. It's pretty easy to tuck everything out of the way, except for when you're doing the top stitch around the sleeves. That is a crazy stitch. At least for me. Okay, let's get started. Definitely want to hold your threads for the first couple. But everybody knows that.
But maybe somebody else is watching a sewing machine work for the first time.
Maybe.
And they didn't know. And now you've educated them on it. I didn't know at first.
Nice and slow.
But I'm also kind of a dummy, so.
Hey, me too. We should have a club.
Is that like, we'll change the name of the Little Rascals Club.
I'm gonna leave it to you to come up with the right name for our club.
Be Dumb Club.
Be done, club.
Be Dumb Club.
I'm sure any professional watching this is just biting their nails and saying, why don't you go faster? Why are you so slow and not confident? Because I don't want to skip stitch.
And we're trying to make this last.
Yeah.
We're gonna make this last all week.
Well, that should not be a problem.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to bring my upholstery foot in though.
Anything on Facebook, Justin?
No, they're crickets.
Crickets. Just crickets chirping on Facebook.
Get to the point where it's not for a reason.
I think even Mark gave up on Facebook.
Yeah. There's 4 viewers on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Threads is what he's all about.
Yeah.
It's the metaverse, Justin.
I'm not real Facebooky. Rarely ever get on there.
I'm on there, but I don't ever.
If something gets posted on my Facebook, it's because it came through my Instagram. Like, because my Instagram's connected, so when I post on Instagram, it goes to my Facebook.
I don't post on either. I get on there and mindlessly scroll when I don't have anything else to do on them.
I don't even have an Instagram. That's how behind the times I am.
It's alright, it's almost dead too, so you're not missing anything.
The most Facebook I use now is whenever I play my Oculus.
Oh,
Virtual reality.
does it make you dizzy?
No. Well, there's like walking games that you can like a first-person type of shooter type of thing that you can walk in. And if I'm not the one physically walking, you're just moving with the controller, that makes me sick.
Oh yeah.
That makes my stomach feel weird. Like your whole body to equilibrium plays off of your ears
Yeah.
for the other part of balancing. So if you're not actually moving, it's like, you're not actually moving. You need to do something.
Yep. It disorients me a little bit. I haven't done it a whole lot. Beat Saber and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's so much fun, but the first time I did it, I was a little bit.
I've played Beat Saber
What is
on live before.
Really?
On a after party.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there's basically just the back panel done. Real easy. Get that thing done. It looks like we're pretty consistent there. That looks fine.
Looks good. One
So
down.
there's that. So then usually what I'll do next is either make my side adjuster buckles and belts,
Okay.
or I'll cut these out and make pockets.
Well, let's not break the pattern.
Okay.
I know we went and grabbed buckles.
So there's the buckles, and over here somewhere I have little bits already
This?
cut out. No, those are my pocket welds. These are the sleeve gussets. Oh, there we are.
Gotta say buckle on them.
Yep.
And I did see that you
I put a little serial number.
you got your number on it
Yeah, that's 017, so I can
With
keep
a-
track of how many I've made.
with your stamp on it.
Yeah, but it's a very faint stamp. Some hides it works well.
Yeah.
Others it does not.
So we marked it with a 17 because it's jacket number 17.
That's right.
That's a cool little feature.
Keep
Yeah.
it simple. And then it'll go in the interior pocket where you really never see it unless you want to look for it. So I got two sizes of these. I always make the buckle just a little longer so it kind of, or the buckle side of the belt a
Here,
little
we'll
bit longer.
Slide over this way a little bit.
Okay.
That way we keep you under this camera.
Oh yeah, we want to be under the camera. I'm off to the side somewhere.
So we're just using center bar buckle, oval, nickel, 5/8.
Yeah.
378-150-200.
I'm glad you know that number.
Yeah, I didn't read it on there or anything.
Okay.
Did I see your first figure carving test panel of that? No. I've been on Discord to post about the new website. Other than that, really, I haven't. I've been working on the website. Did you need these out?
In a minute.
Okay, sorry, I'll put it back in.
Oh, you're in.
Okay, I'll leave it out.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's your world.
You're just living in it?
Yeah.
You're just crafting in it.
Just crafting in it. Again, the gluing here may or may not be necessary. I find it to be pretty handy in keeping everything stuck together so I don't have to use the third hand that I don't have
Yeah.
while I'm trying to sew it.
Michael, who's on here commenting, he just has one arm that is functioning. He was the one talking about his dead arm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got
And he hand sews.
That's incredible.
Well, actually, I think it's more like foot sews, but
Okay.
You did the hat, that
Yeah.
stripe hat right behind you.
They do the
That-
bear as well.
Yeah, you did
The
bear
hat-
as well.
and the bear.
Wow.
Yeah.
That hand stitching looks so good. I am not very good at it.
We have some pretty awesome customers. I'm just gonna say that. And I mean it.
You do mean it.
I do. Some of them don't feel the same way about me.
You sure?
Particularly Karen.
Yeah, some Karens can just get after it.
It's hard to please a Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found that out
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think I heard a little bit about that.
It was a disaster. I mean, not for me. My feelings were not hurt.
Oh, a bit more glue.
There you are. I thought about my feelings getting hurt, and then I realized I didn't have any.
Oh,
Yeah, so.
one of
Michael
those.
says the new website rocks.
Who says that?
Michael.
Michael? Nice. People have been on it doing some purchasing, because now if you purchase online at Springfield Leather, you have no choice. No longer beta.
Oh,
It is the website now.
I have not been on the new one, I guess. I just show
Over
up
here a
here.
little bit. Pinch your
Oh,
leather.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm going to pull you on camera.
Yeah, I do that. Looks like I'm, rolling a handmade cigarette here, but I'm not.
When I was a server at Applebee's, there was this customer that would always come in and roll cloves at the table, and then when you could still smoke in a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
Oh, I bet that was
Pungent.
pungent for people trying to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, that did not line up very well. Dummy. Okay.
Good thing you didn't hammer it down.
That's why I like the aqua limits for giving. Try to be real careful here. Doesn't matter on pocket welts, but on the belts you want your edges to line up, and that's what I was not paying attention to. So these longer ones will be for the buckle side of things, and that will get split over in half.
I'd hand you your
obviously.
hammer, but
But I've got
you
it.
didn't give it back to me.
That's okay.
So I'm just going to sit here and play with this plastic.
You just play with that plastic.
Michael said you need to see me on like anniversary days that we have. Like Leather Crafting Day or the all day live stream.
What do you do there?
Well,
It's pretty wild.
Play with plastic?
Goes feral.
Feral.
I use, or I wear, I have a Christmas suit that I wear and then one year I wore Michael's hat that he made for a while. But then we get cupcakes, smash those down in one bite. It's more of just a swallow.
Okay. That's a talent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me hit these with a hammer real quick. I like the polished head on this thing.
Yeah, Denny ran that sucker through the polisher.
He's done it.
You can dang near see yourself. You can put on eye makeup with it if you wanted to. I don't wear any, so.
I didn't wear any today.
No. Trying to quit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Meyer says new website
It's
seems
not
like
doing
it's
me
going to
any
be
good.
easier, and I left some reviews for some points. Meyer, I was gonna send you an email. I saw your reviews on there. I was gonna make sure that it actually gave you the points. I was curious how that was going to work. Justin zooming around. Which camera are we gonna look at? So I saw your picture that you left on some of it. Hopefully that was easy to leave reviews and leave pictures and do all of that. Oh, and I didn't ban Karen. Justin got to it before I could.
Oh, you had to ban?
I was headed over there to do it, and Justin's like, they got one click left. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, you actually banned someone.
She dropped a FU to another customer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty tolerant, but when you start doing that, I gotta.
Our customers are awesome. Like, we don't usually have to stick up for ourselves ever in the social world because they handle it. We just go and see the havoc that they have taken care of. And so they were trying to explain to her. Okay, we'll go into the story. I'll tell the story.
Okay, tell the story while I'm doing this really boring medial task over here.
So we were starting this live stream, and it was going to be a live shopping one. So Liz and I do that together, and it was the first one we had done in a while because I was gone most Fridays from February to May.
I noticed you were absent.
Yeah, that softball takes me away, so I was out, and so it was the first one Liz and I were doing back, and it was a Facebook only one. And this lady, her first name was Karen, came in and she was like, I found it. And I was just saying, oh, I knew what she was talking about, that she had found us. She wanted to do it. And Liz was like, what were you looking for, Karen? I was like, oh, she was looking for us. And so there was just like a little bit of banter. And there was not very many people that were on Facebook, because there's not really a lot of people that are on Facebook to do that type of thing with us anymore, like live shopping.
Yeah.
Some of the companies that do it are successful with. They have 140 people watch on their Facebook, but we also stream it on Twitch at the same time. And
Gotcha.
Twitch is a much better streaming platform. That's a side note. Are we going to do something particular here?
No, can I cut on this table?
Yep.
I'm not gonna scratch it or.
You can see all these other cut marks in
I'm
here.
just listening to your story, and I'm gonna.
See, we had this colored oil tan a while back that was here. Look at all these lines that are on here that are still just there.
Wow.
That was probably like 2 years ago. Just chilling out.
Pretty.
So Karen had found us, and I was trying to get more people. I was like, oh, just share it with people that like leather. Share it with your friends. Liz was like, yeah, tag somebody. And I was like, no, just share it to everybody on your friends list. Let's not tag just. You can even share it with people that don't even like leather.
Yeah.
So like something like that. And I said, okay, Karen. I said, I have a question, and I said, when people say like, don't be a Karen to you, like, how does that make you feel? Does that upset you, or what happens? And she was like, really good. That ticked me off or something. I'm leaving.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, see you later.
She wasn't kidding. It wasn't like a.
She was being serious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, like, so then she like keeps on going off on it, and so then the other customer's like, well, at least you pronounced your name correctly, because I'm very bad at just seeing somebody's name like Running Water and just saying like Running Willow, and then so I just call him Running Willow instead of Water. Just because I like half pay attention, because I skip over that part to read that they're talking about a vintage singer type of thing. So, and usually I mispronounce people's name
Okay.
constantly. Like Crapstick. Crapstick's name was Cryptic, was his actual Twitch name, but I just always saw it as Crapstick.
Okay.
So they went in and changed their name to Crapstick. So now you can see it's how I became Crapstick.
Nice.
Changed their Twitch handle to Crapstick. So that's how that ended up. So I do dumb stuff like that. I'm always just goofy, silly, whatever. Well, she said she was going to leave, and then after 30 other comments, she decided that she wanted to tell a customer that was explaining that we were just being silly to F off. F off. She said F-O.
And she said this on live stream.
On
right?
on a live stream, yeah, in the Facebook chat that pops up on screen. So
Okay.
she
Good times.
no longer commented anymore.
It's like the free pattern leaks are having an issue. I told them we'll be looking into it after this.
Okay.
Who was saying that?
It's a first time chatter with B Wilder.
Oh, I see. I enjoyed the stream. Thanks for sharing. Regarding the website, can the free pattern links be fixed? Yes. So I had to wait till I switched over the website. So I was up switching the website from 11 to about 2 a.m. on Saturday night to get everything to switch over.
Fun.
And now some of the links, there's going to be links that are HTML, and some of the helpful pages that are linked to the old website, and the page formatting and the URLs are different than what they are on Shopify. So I have to fix the free pattern links anyway.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah, not really.
I don't know anything about all that stuff.
I just got to change website links.
You got a ruler?
I do have a ruler.
That's what I need.
I
Analog.
have,
That's fine. Whatever's fine.
is that good?
Yep. And how about your little scratch all? Do we have that?
I
know we had one.
I
There
have
it is.
this. I have this scratch all.
Beautiful. So I'm just gonna put the little holes here in my adjustable belt straps.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
You got your own. You need a cutting board for your punch.
Yeah, unless you want me to punch a hole in your table.
It's actually not good to punch into the poundo.
You just
It'll
Just put it in whatever
dull
you
your
want.
it'll dull your punch.
you don't want that.
You don't want that because it's your punch.
That's true. It is.
You
my
brought
punch.
you brought your own.
What was I thinking?
Yeah, but I'll set you up with a piece of granite here,
Okay.
and then on top of your granite, I'm gonna put you a piece of polyboard because I don't have the self-healing thing. How's the self-healing stuff for punching?
The yellow ones?
Mhm.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah.
We've got two of them in R&D that are 3+ years old. I mean, the day probably before we started carrying them.
Yeah.
Still holding up great.
Michael was asking, Tony, will I still get the discount on the new site? What discount was that? Are you talking about the wholesale discount stuff? The wholesale discount was phasing out. And then when we got to the new website on Sunday, it completely phased out because there's not a way to do it on there. So gaining loyalty points is what you do now. Every dollar you spend, you get a point. 100 points equals $5.
Okay.
So 200 points equals $10.
So wholesale is gone? Is that what we're saying?
From what I understand, the way that it's going to work, the wholesale part of it is we're going to go. We need to have the other Tony and I need to have a conversation about retroactively people that had wholesale accounts that were still active. If we can reward them some points, just some free points to say, hey, we know that you were on.
Oh, yeah. That's what
You had wholesale. We know that wholesale is no longer a thing, but you still had some years left on your wholesale.
Yeah, well, how do I get 1,000,000 loyalty points built up? Like,
You
without
come make a
spending any
leather.
money?
You come and make a leather jacket on stream.
Nice. That works. Okay, so there's.
What size hole did you punch in that? That's for
I
your.
think that was 5/16 that I used just for the center bar buckle.
Yeah, that's for your tongue
Wait,
piece. to go.
5/32.
5/30
Not use a 5/16. That would be terrible.
5/32.
Yes, and then I use 1/8 inch for the actual belt.
1/8 inch for the adjusting holes.
Yes, and I do a 1/2 inch spacing just because that way you can, if you need to adjust it, you're getting a full inch instead of, maybe 1.5 inches, which might be too much.
Yeah. Justin, I have a post-it note over there above the mouse area. I think Liz has something wrote on it about downloadable patterns on there.
Digital downloads and old web will come to new.
Yeah, you can pull that post-it note off. Will you pull that post-it note, that torn off thing, but then write on there, wholesale account, loyalty points, question mark.
I'm looking for it. I don't see one. I can write one for you.
Oh, no, there's not one on it. Just
Oh, okay.
write it on top of that post-it note that was there. I don't need the download ones, anything, anyway. I already communicated that. What up, Chevy?
And there are those. Now they need to be stitched.
You go all the way around it?
Yep.
Well,
We're going to watch that?
yeah.
Okay. Are we going to do all 4 of them or are we going to do 2 of them?
Go. Do it all.
Okay.
I mean, we've only been going for an hour and a half, hour and 25 minutes. The first 25 minutes of it, we just jabbered.
That's true.
We had to set a backstory.
Yeah, not much of a backstory though. It wasn't very interesting.
Finished carpentry, new baby, can't house of Bell Knife Skyver,
Not yet.
on jacket number 17. Came in first time for leather conditioner.
That was so long ago.
Started making belts and motorcycle seat covers. Hand stitched those. It was terrible.
Alright, I'm gonna go nerd mode here. I gotta get my glasses on. My eyes last until about noon before I need the glasses. This is exciting stuff here.
Just what if people have happily watched me bevel a tooling pattern? It's one of the least exciting things to see.
Oh, Chevy, we didn't have to take your measurements because this jacket's for me.
once, Chevy, it's not for you.
I mean, I did hear that you scored quite a bit of things out in Wyoming. Maybe like a gun belt. Well, your dad. A saddle. Did he get the fender lamp too?
Yeah, they got the lamp too.
Whole set.
Do we know the person that did?
Yeah, yeah. I just sent her a picture of it this morning, actually. Can't remember.
Did you guys show it on the stream on whatever day you did?
Oh, the Denny sculpture?
Can we
Yeah,
talk
that's-
about it?
That's so cool.
It's pretty freaking awesome.
Let me see if I can get her name pulled up real quick.
The little mallet that's on there too. And
Yeah,
it's all out of leather.
Who
The
did that?
jacket's pigskin. He's got a belt on too.
That's crazy. They did a very good job.
I just find it cool that I mean, I'm sure they were going to make a sculpture anyway, but then to do it of Denny and then give it to him.
Very cool.
I'm sure you'll know how to reach Mark, and once Mark gets his sizes, his pattern grid,
Yeah, if
you can probably pay him to make you a jacket.
probably.
I heard he works for money.
I do. I'm gonna figure out if I want to make this a thing.
Yeah?
I do like doing it though. It gives me something to do in the evenings, and I just can't seem to put it down. I really enjoy it. I'm mainly, making different sizes so that I'm not tempted to keep making myself jackets over and over again because the closet fills up, and then wives say things. Wife.
You
singular.
break the rule of one in, one out.
Yeah. It's easier to do when you're making your own.
Debbie said if she made a Tony sculpture, it'd be impossible to make a crown big enough for my humbleness.
Are you extraordinarily humble?
Most humble person in this building.
I'm actually a world champion, 5 times running. I got the trophies at home.
If you can't tell from the comments.
Yeah.
My humility is astounding. It's probably the best I've ever seen.
Sounds like it.
One of the likes that you'll never see again. Oh, are we done with cutting board and stuff?
Yeah, most likely. I think we're good.
If not, I know where to get it back out.
Yeah, I think we're.
From.
I don't have anything else to punch until way later when we're doing the collar. Got to punch one line snap for that.
It's more fun just to be so humble.
You've got it down. Okay, now I'll make little belty pieces. Little belty guy.
I know you said you don't Facebook and you also don't have an Instagram. Do you have it anywhere anybody can check anything out of you?
Not yet,
Cool.
but when I decide that's what I want to do, I will most definitely have all that in order.
The way that you find Mark is you come out and hang out on retail
There you go.
and wait for him to come in.
I don't want you to find me, that's why you can't find me. I'm hiding.
A mystery. Do you play music, Mark?
I do, from
Yeah?
time to time.
What do you play?
Guitar.
That's what my daughter plays.
I've been doing it for way longer than I'd like to admit.
Acoustic or electric?
Both.
Or both?
Anything with 6 strings. Let's see if we like that. We don't like that. We're going to go a little further. I've never used this standard foot for anything, so it's really different for me. I imagine it'd be pretty nice sewing around a zipper though.
The edge and tip of the foot are roughly 1/8 inch from the needle, so that's handy.
Gotcha.
We got somebody sending me to make the perfect Indiana Jones replica jacket.
There are companies that make that. I think a company called Wested makes one that's pretty
Wested?
spot on, yeah. Wested Leathers.
Wested Leathers. There you go, Chevy.
So I basically have 3 patterns that I like to make.
Yep, they got it. It's the first thing you see when you go on the website.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the Wested Indie Jacket.
They make an X-Men collection one. James Bond. It's not really a bad price for a replica jacket made out of leather.
I don't even know what they're asking for those anymore.
$381.
Oh, really? That's really...
That's a specific price, $381.
Right.
Not $380.
Well, it's from $381. Let me rephrase that. I just saw the from part.
Oh.
And
You can customize it.
I've never handled one, so I don't really know how high quality they are or whatever, but I know they're a thing.
You can change like the material, like the rings and the buckles. You can change the material of the lining, add extra pockets, add a gusset.
How about an action back? Can you get an action back?
You probably could.
Say anything about it.
How many guitars do you have?
Ooh, that is also a loaded question. I have 2 electric guitars and 3 acoustic guitars at present. And that is down from, I'd say, oh my gosh, I don't know how many hundreds of electric guitars I've owned in my day. Just in 2021, I think I had 15 really nice ones. But then I got into Jeeps again.
How many Jeeps you got?
Well, my wife has a newer 4-door Wrangler, and I had an older 2-door Wrangler, a TJ. But I got it in my mind to build that thing up crazy and take it overlanding and go see some cool places around the country. So I spent all my time and money doing that. So I sold a bunch of guitars and probably a few jackets to justify doing that.
Right.
Then I got into motorcycles again. Everything's an again. There's nothing new for me except for sewing. I go through cycles
Right.
of the same like 3 or 4 things. Yeah.
So we've had plenty of guitars.
Plenty.
Just 5 at the moment, though.
Yeah.
And just 1 Jeep?
And just 1 Jeep and 1 motorcycle nowadays.
Oh, I guess you have 2 Jeeps. So your
Yeah.
wife has 1 and you have 1.
I'm not sure if you remember playing the game Grand Theft Auto or
Yeah.
GTA. I had a couple of friends used to make fun of me that I was that way. I used to own an airplane and I kept it hangared in Bolivar, Missouri. And I also kept in there a motorcycle. And I kept another vehicle parked in Springfield at the airport. So if I ever flew in there, I had vehicles, motorcycles and airplanes and random vehicles stashed everywhere.
Where was it at the airport?
What's that?
You just a car stash there? Just a car hanging out at the airport?
Yeah, if I knew I was going to be
Or at the
flying
airport
in
at
and
the
out
hangar?
there.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, if I knew I was going to be flying, I'd go drop a car off there and have a car there. I had a car in Monette because I had a hangar space available in Monette, so I had them everywhere. So I'd always have a way home wherever I landed. Okay, we got some belt pieces.
I wish I flew. We talked about this the last time I think you were in
I
here.
think we did.
Star Ridge says hangars are a great place to stash stuff.
Yeah. And I have not flown in a long time, and I really miss it.
Did you get rid of your plane?
I did. It just didn't really make sense for me to keep one around anymore.
So next season when I get back into my softball, you want to fly me to games instead, so I don't have to fly commercially.
If you want to buy a plane, and then you know,
Anybody got a plane
get me
for sale?
recertified. I need to go get my
And
medical
money.
certificate redone, and I need to do a biennial flight review. I haven't flown in 10 years probably.
And also a couple lessons from
Yeah, I mean, if you're okay with somebody rusty flying you around, go for it.
I know a Rusty, and my brother's a Rusty, and I don't know that I'd have either of those fly me.
Well.
I mean, I'd probably be more trusting of my brother than the Rusty that is here of flying me in a plane.
Oh yeah, we've all talked to Rusty. We gotta be leery of him.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we got some low buckles.
So with so many guitars that you played, how many guitar straps have you made?
None.
0.
Absolutely 0. I have
You know,
never
that's
made
how
a guitar
Kevin
strap.
walked into a leather store for the first time,
Really?
was to make a guitar strap.
And now he's the
Now
emperor.
You made a
he's
huge mistake.
and he's like, I have screwed this up royally. Now I own a leather business.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, we got buckles made here.
Yep.
Well, buckle straps.
Low buckle straps. So those will be ready to go whenever we're going to make everything 3-dimensional. When we sew in the side panels to the front panels to the shoulder, all that stuff. Because these are incorporated when you do that, obviously.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually go on kind of upside down and backwards too. So those are ready. They're made. I'm just kind of doing this in the order that I do it at
Yep.
home.
What's the next on the order?
Next on the order would probably be getting this thing ready for pockets. I think we're going to do the other panel, wherever that one went. Here it is.
You can use that one.
Yeah, I'll use this guy.
All right, I'll move this.
Move that guy out of the way. And we'll do one with a zipper and one without the zipper. So I've gone ahead and pre-marked them last night just to save a little bit of time. Obviously on my pattern I have a big square marked out, so I'll just hit my line and then
Make you a center.
yeah, make your little triangle pieces there. And I can cut on here.
Yep.
We're good. Okay. So here,
If you'd rather cut on a cutting board, I have one of those too.
doesn't matter to me. I just don't want to tear your table up if
I'm
you
not
don't
gonna.
want me
There's usually cowhide on here,
to. Okay.
but luckily I took that off since you dripped glue everywhere.
It's a good thing. You knew I was going to do that anyway. That's why we took it off.
Moonshine, who makes guitar straps, says, "I know somebody that makes." She makes some pretty good guitar straps. Pretty eclectic looking, some of them.
People know how to make things so well. I'm always in awe by watching somebody else who really knows what they're doing make something. Instead of me, I'll just like fumble my way through.
Right.
It'd just take me 5 times longer than it should.
You can also, on Twitch, I know you didn't know much about Twitch, there's luthiers that are on Twitch.
That is also very cool.
We watched a guy make a guitar one time. Then we watched a guy make skateboards.
That'd be cool.
Lam and glue them.
There's a lot that goes into making a skateboard.
Oh, I was super surprised.
I've actually made a couple of electric guitars.
That's
And
cool.
it was cool. That's also a time-consuming process. My buddy Ray Ross, he's made several of them, and he kind of got me into trying that out. Oh, we're gonna do it that way?
I enjoyed like I never worked on anybody else's, but I would work on mine, like change out the pickups, rewire them. And stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
I really like to do
It
that.
was fun. I just didn't trust myself to do it on someone else's guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've worked on a lot of guitars for people, and I enjoy doing that too. But I'm certainly not a professional.
Chevy, that your Americaster, that was one of the luthiers that made a guitar for you, right?
Americaster.
Yeah, it looks it's like got an American flag on the front of it.
Oh, cool.
You can't really see it. He put a emoji of it up there.
Oh.
Not the spinning one. This one right here. It's got a
Oh yeah, I can barely see that. That's cool though.
Hank Bud.
That's who made it?
That's yeah.
Michael said it took him 900 hours to sew the shearling line gun case for his son.
900 hours? It's incredible.
To foot sew it.
Wow. That's dedication.
Yeah, Liz took her dragon mask home with her, but he made her a dragon mask.
That's kind of cool too. So what I'm doing here is just getting a little leather or a little glue behind here so I can fold everything and hammer it to get my nice little pocket openings.
So you marked out your edges, drew your triangle. What's the triangle
That's
thing?
just so you have something to peel back and to kind of sew down so that it makes a nice open square.
Okay.
And I don't know why it's a triangle. I just,
Is
yeah,
that what everybody makes it?
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I
The one
don't
you
have
took-
many questions.
The
Yeah,
one- the
all
one you
ones-
took. The one you took apart.
Yeah,
What had triangles?
yeah, and I've watched videos, people sewing fabric pockets together, you know, with the double welts and stuff, and it's always a triangle too. So
There's got to be a
I'm
reason
sure
why.
there's a reason. It's just not. I didn't come up with that reason. I just do it.
You didn't
monkey
ask.
see, monkey do.
Sounds good. Everybody's doing triangles. We're gonna do triangles.
Yeah, I'm sure I could do a circle or something if I wanted to be different, and it would be a major pain.
Right.
So the glue, I think, is necessary for doing this and getting all this to stay down. When you're trying to sew in welts and zippers and pocket bags all at the same time, you really need the glue to tame this extra material here that's folded. I'm sure there are those out there who can hold it all with their fingers and make perfect stitches, but that's not me. I can't do that. So this is where I don't think glue is an option, at least when I'm making one.
Michael says the triangle card called darts.
Darts, that's right. See, there are so many proper terms that one could use.
And they're used to line up two parts of a pattern.
That's what I just
Yeah, there are those.
add shape and fit the garments, especially around the curves.
Oh yeah,
No, they're
don't-
triangles, and that's what we're doing. That's the only reason they're triangles, because some person did it and then wrote this stuff out about what it does, and goes, "I'm just
Yeah.
gonna cut triangles and I'm
I
gonna
don't-
make some crap up."
know if that's considered a dart or not.
I think
With
that
what
it's
I'm
also
doing.
called a notch is what you're doing.
Yes, maybe. I'm just cutting a pocket out. But notches and darts and all that are different terms for people who know what they're doing. Okay, this one's probably dry. So I'll just kind of start this up like that, kind of get it in the direction it wants to go. And then kind of try to press it flat there. And I want about a 1/4 inch all the way across, and it does not have to be perfect. The welts aren't going to be perfect, and it all ends up looking good and cool.
So fold it in about a half.
About a 1/4.
Sorry, you're right.
Yep, about a 1/4.
A half of what I said.
A half of what you said. Oh man, when this is like pushing 4 ounce, it is so hard for me to get these to lay flat,
I'm sure it is.
even with glue and everything else. So once I get it like that, then I'll pull this really hard so that it pulls that cut back under to where you'll never see that triangle cut. So pull that back real hard and kind of spread it. That way this is hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And then beat the crap out of it.
If you want.
Just like that.
You good?
Yeah.
Here, let me get you some granite up here.
What are you getting me?
You want granite?
I don't care.
That'd
Up to
be
you.
more. That'd be more solid,
Sure.
less bouncy.
Looks bouncy. I'll slide it up there when I'm ready to beat on it. I think it would be very boring to show 4 or 5 of these pockets. People will lose interest.
Meyer
I
said,
think 2 is going to be enough.
"Can't you hammer it?" But he may have been a little bit. His latency may have been a little
Yeah.
behind.
And you can't, I mean, if you don't want to use glue, if you're just absolutely against it, I'm sure you could spend the time to hammer it. I would hammer my finger,
Yeah.
trying to hold it, and
I think he was just meaning once you get it glued and.
oh yeah, then definitely you want to hammer it flat. I go so slow with all this at home. Trying to make it at least somewhat quicker.
Feel free to take your time. We have all week.
Oh, I know we have all
Okay.
week, but it could take all week.
That's all right.
It usually takes me 3 or 4 solid days to make one of these things. That's if I'm focused. I can drag it out for a week. No problem. The cross zip motorcycle jackets take me an extra couple of days. There's so many pieces and parts and steps to do one of those, especially if you're doing a detachable collar. Okay, so then you flip it over and you just got nice little squares.
Rectangles.
Rectangles is the proper terminology.
Rectangles are squares,
Just longy. Longy
Vice
guys.
versa.
There we go.
but not all rectangles
You're gonna mess
are
something up.
squares. Square.
You're gonna
all
mess
rec-
something up.
Same thing twice.
All rectangles are squares, but not all squares are rectangles.
Vice versa.
All squares are rectangles?
Yes.
I'm gonna let you guys handle
Squares
this.
are specifically even sides.
Yeah, even sides.
Rectangles are
90s.
4 sides.
All squares are squares.
I'm a square.
So now that we have these,
Sorry, moving on.
moving on. We don't have to move on if we're gonna,
If we're going to
discuss,
talk about squares.
yeah, the
and
mysteries of geometry. So I pre-cut all your pocket bags, and you wanted to try this fail cloth.
We
this
use the
skin.
peach skin fail.
Yeah, so it's. I usually use canvas. This stuff's feels really nice. So we want this thing to kind of be the shape of the hand here, so it'll come in, and the dip will be lower here. You checking your time? Everything
No,
good?
my mom is messaging me about her day. I'm not sure why.
Because she's a mom.
I know.
I want a long one. Sorry, I'm stretching out here. Okay, that is not the one that I want. It's the only one that I don't want. There we go. Let's just use one of these guys.
I see why now.
You got everything under control?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can kind of lay this out to get a picture of how you want it. You want this folding back. So lay here like this, and these are double welts too. So this one doesn't matter. That one's going to get sewn in there. It's going to get taped in, and then this one is going to do this.
So how wide were those?
What do you mean?
How wide were the strips?
These guys?
Yeah.
These are the welts. I make them an inch longer than the actual opening, so you have a little bit. And then I might go through and trim them off if I need to, but you don't want to have it too short or just on, because you need something to get your top stitch to grab. So just make it a little bit wider. I have to visualize everything, so we're going to set it like this. And this is how everything will be sewn together. So we'll go do that. And hopefully I won't get confused.
If you need help, I'll talk about squares and rectangles again.
Yes. We'll get into triangles. We did kind of touch base on triangles, didn't we?
We've been talking about lots of shapes today.
Not the mysteries of triangles, but
Hexagon is bestagon.
That is a saying Liz uses off of a YouTube video.
Is that right?
what's that saying?
Hexagons are the bestagons.
Oh, nice. Okay. yeah.
They're so good,
Yeah,
even
just
bees
a-
use them.
They do, don't they?
I think she forgot, Justin, that we were going to do. No, the hexagon trading cards.
She said we were gonna talk about it when we got back from Sheridan.
The hexagon trading cards?
Yeah. That was, you know,
Did she try? Did she
a month ago. when we
nix
got
that idea?
back. She's nixed it. We just haven't. She's trying to figure out because I told her I was like, it'd be cool to get out to Sheridan and get it in some cracker stands, and she's like, we'll just wait till we get back. She has it written on her board.
And Liz isn't here today because why? What's she goofing off doing? Something?
Well, they're getting ready to go to Blade, which is a knife show in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they drive down there, and currently the air conditioning in their car
Stopped working last week.
That's brutal.
You don't need AC in Atlanta.
Not
It's fine.
Atlanta, no way.
Yeah, I mean 90 hasn't killed.
So she tried to get it fixed on Friday, but they didn't.
They needed more parts, and then so now she's taking it in today.
Should be here tomorrow.
And then Slickball,
Yeah,
Chris Andre.
will be here tomorrow too. Kind of hanging out with us.
Oh, you made a holster.
I made a gun belt
Yeah.
out of one of his patterns. That was like the first real thing I made from leather was that. And he probably would not be that impressed with it, if I'm being honest, but
Well, when you bring
I
in
was
your
impressed.
when you bring your upholstery foot in tomorrow, why don't you bring in your gun belt?
oh no. I will, but I won't be proud. I mean, it looks pretty good, but for a first time project, I will say it's okay. My hand stitching was not very pretty. Not that it is ever. Okay, got all this.
Chevy said it better be working by the time I get there, or I'm not getting the 5 stars when they pick me up. Because Chevy's getting there, and they're gonna share an Airbnb, and he's going late as well.
Oh.
Do you go to the big Rocky Mountain Leather Expo thing?
No, Springfield Leather does, yeah.
Okay. But you didn't go personally?
I was in Florida.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Where'd you go in Florida?
Well, that time I was in Tallahassee. I was at Florida State,
Fun.
hanging out there, calling some softball.
Seem to do a lot of that.
Yep.
That's your thing.
I just do it for about 16 weeks, and then the season's over. And then so I don't do it anymore.
How'd you get into doing that?
I yelled at an umpire.
Oh.
You know.
And he's like, if you think you can do it better,
So I played baseball when I was younger, and then this was slow pitch softball we were playing, and I'm a very aggressive sport player. I'm just kind of aggressive in most things, and so I would always try to, stretch a single into a double type of thing. And he called me out on this play that I was not out on, but he was standing behind home plate and I was out at second. And so I was irritated, and he leaves outside of our dugout and he was like, you're the only player I have a problem with. And I was like, that's funny, you're the only umpire I have a problem with.
nice.
So then he kept on walking off, and I don't remember what else happened, but I probably said something else again. And so he came running back to the dugout. And I was like, if you hustled that much on the field, I wouldn't have a problem with you. He said, if you think you can do it better than me, come show me. And I said, okay.
Nice. Okay, well,
So I started umpiring in 2005.
that sounds a little aggressive. 2005, huh?
Yep, and then I moved, and then I called baseball. And then quickly moved into fast pitch softball, and then kind of hung out in that realm for quite a while, and then moved up into high school and youth, still travel ball, and then did some college baseball, and then moved into college softball in 2013.
Okay. So you're still at college level?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't call youth stuff anymore. We had a pro league that was called the National Pro Fast Pitch, NPF. So I called them that for a while. but it's not. It's a different season than the college season because all the umpires that call it are also college umpires.
Okay.
Because the season's just not long enough for the pro
Gotcha.
stuff. This year, there is a new. Well, it's not really a new. They're changing the format of Athletes Unlimited to an Athletes Unlimited softball league. So now they're making teams to have this pro league, and for the first time, MLB put money into one of our pro league type of things. So they put some funding into it. So hopefully it'll continue to grow and become something better.
Cool. But definitely sounds like it keeps you busy for a big chunk of it.
Yeah, February to May on the weekends.
And you're
Unless I
everywhere.
fly, then Thursday, and then I fly back on Sunday.
What's the furthest you go, like, across the country? What's the furthest you travel in a typical season?
The furthest west that I went this year was Las Cruces, New Mexico, at New Mexico State. The furthest east I went was Orlando, Florida,
Okay, that's
for University of Central Florida. And then the farthest, that was also the furthest south that I had went.
Okay.
And then the furthest north I went was Michigan State in Lansing, Michigan.
So a pretty good spread
I called
around.
2 games in Missouri. Out of all the games that I called, which was
Just
probably like 70 or so, I called 2 in Missouri.
Nice.
Yeah. Both of them in Springfield.
Oh, well, you didn't have
Yeah.
to go far for
Yeah.
that. Okay, so I guess what we did here is I made a pocket bag, intentionally leaving this to where it can be folded
Okay.
out of the way, because you don't want to try to sew your pocket with that in the way. You'll have no pocket. You'll just have a pretty piece of
So one
cloth
side
under here.
One side you left unfolded, and the other side.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so if you're talking about the actual leather bits here,
Yeah.
the welts, I folded this one into a welt, and this is just a backer. This is going to be a double welt pocket, but you don't sew both welts into the pocket bag. This welt will be sewn on at the same time as the back of the pocket bag. So this will get taped on. This will get taped on, and then in your interior chest pocket, it will just be a single welt. So the whole thing will just look like this, just one welt, and then this backer.
Okay.
It'll make sense when I get it put together. So there's that pocket bag. And we'll go ahead and get some basting tape on there, wherever I put that. Oh, I stuck it over there by my...
I can hand that to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I love basting tape for this, and for putting zippers in. It could be a cheater move, I don't know how people feel about that, but that's what I'm gonna do.
I've seen it used lots.
Oh, I like it.
Use the tools that are given to you.
Well, and it does a job well.
Yeah.
It doesn't do the same job as glue. Glue
Right.
doesn't do its job
That's
as well
true.
as masking tape does.
Quite true.
Alright, tool, good job.
So then we'll peel that guy,
Threw it right in your glue.
throw it right in the glue. Did I do that?
Yep.
I did? Oh, that. Oh, I don't care about that. I thought I threw my panel into the glue. I'm like,
No.
no, you dummy.
No. Threw your basting tape thing into the glue.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I didn't want it to come back out and then traipse glue around everywhere. Sorry for scaring you.
It didn't scare me too bad. So this, I'll just try to line it up into the center. Make sure I have somewhat equal overhang.
That's funny.
Kind of work that welt across. Okay, so I have more overhang here than I do here. Not that big of a deal. I will fix that.
So you centered it in the hole this way and then tried to center it in your...
Yeah, but I got off a little bit, so watch, I'm just going to do this. I don't like to do that because it could mark the leather, but I also want to have a little extra. Gotta be pretty OCD about it. And I can feel there, and I can feel up there. This is where I'll mumble.
Bye, Ryan.
Y'all keep having fun.
Okay.
We lost one already.
He was coming to hang out for a little bit. Listen, pick up some tricks if you had any garment types of tricks for him.
So we got
But it's
this
about
guy.
lunchtime for them.
Oh, well, that's good.
And if you need a potty break at any point, you just say that and we'll just walk off.
Oh, we just walk away?
We'll just say we'll be right back.
Okay, good, because I was going to go in the corner there.
And cry?
No,
Oh.
pee.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Just move the can over there if you could. Don't splash it around everywhere.
I really would do that. Okay, so we can put it in like this if we want to. Do we have a leather pen in here?
A silver marking pen?
Yeah, a silver marking pen. That's one thing I forgot to grab. If we don't, it's fine. I'll just eyeball it, but or a pencil even.
Let me go grab one from Ryan.
Okay.
Do you need to go to the bathroom?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. This would be a perfect time.
Okay, we'll do it.
All right.
Walk away.
I'm gonna go get a pen. Mark's gonna potty.
Everybody else can have a bathroom break as well.
Okay. Somebody want to show me where the potty is?
Just right out, go into the shop, and right to your right, if that door's
Okay.
open, it's available. Hope everyone is enjoying the process. It's pretty cool to see it coming alive. Now's the time to, we riot chat. Now is the time to use the restroom, get a drink, do what you'd like to do. We'll probably go for about another hour, 2 hours. And pick it back up tomorrow. This would be a cool vest, this leather. This would be a really cool vest too.
That's what I was saying. Just leave the arms off.
Yeah.
What is Chevy putting up there? I don't.
We riot chat and then some sort of emoji holding a flame, maybe?
Oh, maybe so. So is Slickball coming in for any particular reason or just to hang out?
They're traveling through, heading back. He's gonna hang out. Might do something in the afternoon with them. So tomorrow might be a lucky day for everybody, have an all-day streaming event.
Yeah, I remember she saying going.
We're gonna have Reiner here on August 11th or 13th. I don't remember. I have it in the calendar, but he's gonna stop in and do some stuff with us. And
Nice.
tomorrow, Michael. He'll be here tomorrow.
Are you ready to go again?
I can be as soon as you are, but it's no big rush. I might have to crack this Red Bull. I need some wings.
I've heard that Red Bull does give you
It
wings.
does give you wings.
Hello,
How those
Jared.
pieces work out for you? Good? Okay, cool.
Nice job.
Yep,
Yeah,
thank you.
Very
I
consistent.
did it very, like, first thing in the morning, so I'm like, not even a coffee deep yet, and I'm like, I'm hoping this is good.
Yeah, I think
I
it's...
clicked them all out, or I did the gauging on all of them, but
Okay.
never know.
Thanks, Jared.
Very consistent.
Thanks.
Good, good, good.
All right. So I got you a marking pen that's silver.
Thank you.
So Ryan did say these are the water soluble ones,
Okay.
so they don't come off with the glue eraser thing. You have to wet it. And
That's
wipe
okay.
it.
Yeah, these are the ones I use at home.
Nice.
So are we going now?
We never stopped.
Oh. Oh. Well,
They just hung out
so
and
sorry.
watched a blank screen.
Okay. So all I'm going to do here is kind of get an average of where my top stitch is going to be, and I'm going to put a little dot. Just tiny, so you're not going to need to wipe it out. So it's about an eighth, and I'll just find some arbitrary spot that I may or may not hit. It's just kind of a guide.
Okay.
So when you're sewing this thing together, it is imperative that this is flipped back so that you don't close your pocket up while you're installing it.
So on the other
Yeah, and if you want to see that from the back, when you put this on your table and run it through the machine, this needs to be flat and nowhere near here.
you're just sewing this
We're
side.
sewing just this piece.
Gotcha.
And that's the only thing we're going to do is we're going to make a stitch across this. Just
Got
a
it.
straight stitch. And then once we get that, then we'll box the whole thing in. Well,
Got
we
it.
got to put the other welts in there. And don't let me forget to do that, because I do a lot of single welts, and I could get distracted and forget to put your welt in there, and then you would have single welt pockets. Not on a motorcycle jacket. So it will end up looking like this in the end. If I can get that. There. It'll look like this, but we're not going to sew this in until we sew the back of the pocket in.
That we
We'll
have
do that
no
all at the same
zipper in
time.
the way and nothing going to
Zipper
be
up
falling.
here. We're not
Yeah,
doing a zipper
nothing
down here.
can fall out of the pocket there if you. Well, it's harder for
It could. And the reason I'm not putting a zipper on this one, these hand warmer pockets, is I hate zippers on my hand warmer pockets.
Oh, I'm with you.
I didn't ask you if you wanted them.
No,
Did you want
I-
them?
no.
Okay. Because it's cold. When it's cold outside, you want to warm your hands.
Mhm.
And the zipper teeth are cold, so... Except for on like a cross-zip motorcycle jacket where you need to have that zipper for aesthetics. I never put them in my hand warmers just because that's, again, like the back designs, I just go with what I prefer.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone ever wants zippered hand pockets, it's not much of a bigger deal than not. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's go ahead and go put a stitch across this. Make sure I got everything.
Latigo said, I actually switched to a stream with 10 kittens while you were gone.
Oh,
I don't know why they switched back.
that's exactly what I was thinking. Why would you switch back?
One thing else you could switch to that would be better would be like bunny rabbits.
Think about streaming a lizard like all day long. So
You get a
people just
lizard?
watch 'em. I just got a gecko over the weekend.
What kind of
A
gecko?
little crested.
Okay.
It's my first one, so I didn't want to go too hot, too challenging with it.
I had a tokay gecko.
Oh wow, Brandon and Shop would be jealous.
Man, it was
Those
so
things are
cool.
feisty.
Bit so hard.
Yeah.
So I got into monitor lizards. That's why I really got into lizards when I was a kid. I had iguanas and like a Savannah monitor, Nile monitors. And I've been bitten by all of them. But the tokay gecko, as little as that thing was, I mean, it was like probably 10 or 11. That thing could
Yeah.
bite.
What they're known for.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It
they had the
was,
Lizard Expo in town this weekend, so we went, and early Father's Day gift from our wife.
oh, that's cool. I didn't know there were such a thing as a lizard expo.
They have them about every quarter.
Is it reptile in general or just
Yeah,
lizards?
reptile is probably the better way to put it. There was a lot of snakes there. They had some other animals. Like, they had these mini squirrels that were really cool.
Mini squirrels?
Yeah, they're
That's not a reptile at all.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They had other animals. They had like
Yeah.
hedgehogs, but the squirrel was like that big.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay, let's get me right there. It's close enough. Okay, let me find the bobbin string. Make sure at least to know where it's at so I can keep pressure on it. And then we're just gonna go across here. My pocket is tucked back.
Mini squirrels, reptiles. Too.
Latigo said that the kittens were total chaos around midnight, so they're sleeping right now.
Okay. Even kittens need their rest.
So not only did he go watch a stream of kittens, he went to a stream of sleeping kittens.
Oh,
Do you have the thought of ever doing like an exotic leather for a jacket?
maybe. I'm gonna do one out of kangaroo. I think later this month. I don't know if that's considered exotic.
Yep.
Yeah. I just saw someone being funny and said, "Why is the jacket not alligator?" And that's what made me think of the question.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. How does alligator split down? Can you split it down and
I would imagine most people would probably do it.
keep the integrity of the scales? Alright.
Do like your pocket welts as exotics.
That would
Yeah.
be cool. I like to play around with two tones and, stick.
I know you have that one two-tone jacket.
Yeah. I've done 2 or 3 of them, I think. And yeah, it's fun to just add little accents in the pocket welts. But yeah, snake skin or alligator would be kind of cool, I guess.
That's what Michael was saying, using a snake skin on the part you're working on right now.
Caligator would make a good jacket.
Alligator embossed.
Caligator. Okay, let's get this dug out. See if I can find my thread. Exciting times. No. Okay, why can't I see this? Might have to have my assistant step in. Let's just get that out of there, and then we'll go. This is the stuff I imagine is just so boring to watch. Watch me struggle with a piece of thread. There we go.
No, because people can relate and be like, oh, I know that struggle. It's real.
It's real.
Michael said 36 ostrich legs would make a nice jacket.
That would be an interesting design.
Patchwork.
Yeah. Alright, let's see how we did here. It's a relatively straight. Got a little walky here. That's why I missed my upholstery foot. That's not bad. I like it. I'll take it.
Next up.
Next up, we'll peel this little piece of tape.
Yeah, don't forget your other welt though.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
That's
problem.
what I'm doing. Okay, let's take the pretty side. We'll kind of at least get it lined up. Just barely touching there, so I know that they're level. And then we'll try to get it level in here. Just want a little gap. Want it to kind of look congruent or whatever. If you need to remind me not to mumble, feel free. Because I mumble a lot, like an old man.
Is that what your wife told you before you left the house?
No,
No?
that's just what I was probably self-conscious about, was mumbling. I come by honestly though. I'm 46 years old. I'm getting up there. I can mumble to myself. Okay.
Denny and Kevin are in here most of the time, and Kevin's a mumbler.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll do another piece of basic tape on this. But not very big. Just a little bit.
He just sometimes will just wander off into a story.
I guess that just natural progression of life.
Reminiscing.
We just reminisce, yeah. Everything was the good old days. Okay, come on now. Now we're struggling with peel and tape.
You can take your scratch awl and poke it through there.
How dare you?
Alright.
We might end up doing that. Oh, come on. I might have you demonstrate that. Why is this one giving me such trouble? You saw how elegantly
I was
removed the
surprised
last
how
one.
well you did it.
Just elegant. And this time, we're not having any of that. Come on. Don't fight me. Might have my nurse step in. Those coming up?
There was just a...
Yeah, I'll beat them down again before we do that one. Okay. Show me your scratch all trick. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Just stick it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not wanting to pull up either.
It's not. Pull up. What'd I do?
I don't pull it off and put another
There we
piece
go.
down. I heard it.
There we go. And that's all we need. Just right there. Just enough to where that doesn't slide around when I'm moving it back and forth. And
Maybe
it'll
Chevy
look
said
like
you
that.
like the salt and pepper to live streams. Mainly salty though.
I have
think you
to.
bring the excitement to the streams.
You must be talking about Tony. I don't
Yeah.
any excitement.
One day, I hope to watch a wonderful person doing leather on YouTube so I can find out how to do some things easier than I taught myself to do. Michael, what if I invite you
Dude, there you go.
That's what I said.
Maybe
I was
there's
like,
somebody-
you might have to be the first.
Maybe you could be the first and you could show somebody that's scared to even try it.
So with this, we just want to make sure our pocket stays flat and doesn't get bunched up.
Mm-hmm.
And
The
nothing gets in our
peach
way.
cloth part.
Yes, because there's so many different ways to wad up a pocket bag and end up with a sewn together pocket. Ask me how I know.
I don't think I have to.
No. All part of the learning experience, I guess. Okay. Sometimes this can be a little cranky going over these.
Mhm.
Sometimes it'll want to skip or do something wonky. Hopefully we'll not see any of that today.
I just have a problem when you like, try to step back up there and it doesn't want to walk.
Yes.
Michael said he named his channel 7 stitches an hour.
That's not far enough. Let's go a bit further.
Short stitch it.
Now we're pretty
Now
well
you're-
lined up.
Now you're 1/8 inching it.
But Danny said he learned something today.
What was that?
A couple cuts and welds and a sweet pocket is born.
Okay, I'm still in order over here.
Checked a little bit late into the game though. Sorry, that was my fault. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I only was supposed to do the well.
Yeah, I can't depend on you for everything. That's
You're not the first person to say that.
I bet you that's close. Just do this a little bit. Don't skip on you. This one, just
Eyeball and get it back in the first hole.
Yep.
Well, I guess
which is actually landing perfect on its own. Yay. See my fancy ginger thread snips there?
I know, I saw them.
I don't know why I use those. I bought them probably. That's probably why I use them because I spent money on them. I think that the ones that came with my machine are just as good. But they sit at my domestic machine for when I'm doing liners.
The little green ones or
They work just fine. Kind of went crazy on wall walk when I first got started on like shears and everything. I
Yeah.
thought I needed everything. Except the thread, zippers.
yeah, maybe we need to start carrying those gamer snips.
You guys have the shears, right?
Yeah.
So these aren't that much different than
Yeah, but they're
Aesthetics and the
they're
brand.
gamer.
Sometimes I buy things like tools just because of the aesthetics. As long as they still work the same.
I bought one of your really fancy mallets, you know, leather wrapped ones. Who makes those?
Barry King.
Yes, I got a really sweet Berry King mallet, and I think I've used it like 3 times. I mean, it's wonderful, but I just use my little nylon one most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that.
One pocket down.
Yay. We didn't sew it together.
A non-zipper pocket, so now let's do a zipper
Now
pocket.
let's do a zippered pocket, which is basically the same thing, but it's a little more tedious.
There's a trash can behind you.
Yeah, she gets rid of
You can go ahead and beat this down a little bit too. Stay. Okay. There's that guy. Now I need 2 of the shorter welts, which are these, and then one of these short guys, which is that. And then, yes, you have the zippers there.
This one with a ball on it
Yep.
and a chain.
5-inch zipper. And these are nice YKK. These aren't like lower level. I think there's different tiers of YKK, and you can definitely tell the difference.
And then you just,
I'm just test fitting this zipper, make sure we're good.
but you made the whole zipper and stops yourself.
No, actually, I bought these at Wawak at 5 inches and 7 inches for the sleeve, because that's pretty close, so I saved myself the trouble. But yeah, usually I just do a roll,
Uh huh.
a continuous roll of zippers, and I add the bottom stop, and then cut it, pull the teeth, which is very tedious and annoying, and then put the pull on and the top stops. It's just extra time. But anyway, we did that this time. So what we're going to do here, we're going to get our trusty basting tape, and we're going to go ahead and put both welts on the zipper, like so. We're going to have that all one piece before we start doing the pocket bag. If I'm going to mess anything up, it's probably going to be this, because I'll get out of order. Usually at home I scratch my head and go, oh yeah, you do it like this, not like that.
Sherry said he got one of those teeth remover tools, and they're pretty slick.
Oh, see, I was thinking about it. I just use these little zipper nip things, and I don't think they're the greatest. So do that. And we'll try it to follow the curve here a little bit better. And again, this is not structural at all. It just keeps everything in place for me
Sewing purposes.
for sewing purposes. We'll kind of get her centered. Uh-oh, were you doing this again?
You play this little game?
Yep. No, we're gonna win. Should I throw that in my glue?
Yeah. Somebody's kicking a rock around outside the door.
So I kind of like to do this where you see just the center of the zipper tape. Or the teeth, sorry.
Also keeping it up pretty high.
Yeah. Which is fun up on the pool. Just as long as you get close and that stays in place. Good. Pretty equal. Do the same thing on the other side. How come you haven't had any Red Bull?
I don't know, I need a Red Bull, or I need some more coffee. I mean, I did go to bed late last night.
What's late?
12:30.
That's early. That's about what time I went to bed, though. I try to get to bed early.
I'm still checking on website stuff. Making sure everything was right where it needed to be.
So there we go. We kind of have that hidden. And then what I'll do is I'll take this little piece here. And I'll just totally remove the tape later or peel it and stick it, whatever. This is not for sticking to the jacket. It just keeps these from moving while you're sewing. So we got that. I got chest pocket bags somewhere. Which would be these guys. Slightly different shape. So
Did this come off of your bag you found? Or did you trial and error
I
cut
just
pockets?
trial and error found these little pocket guys. So we like that. So we'll do this. And that should do it. Ta-da. I'll go ahead and do this pocket bag with trying to hit the zipper at the same time, because I know I can do that. Actually, no, let's make it totally foolproof.
Totally foolproof.
Totally foolproof, so we don't miss a zipper tape. Just hit the zippers.
Smash our needle.
Yeah. Okay, you need to behave and lay flat. Okay, so you gotta kind of, when you're doing this, you want to grab the zipper tape for sure. It doesn't matter if you grab it here for structural integrity or you grab it an 1/8 inch from the edge. As long as you're grabbing that tape, it's fine. But what you don't want to do when you're doing this is get too close to the lip of the weld, because then you'll see that when you actually put it in the pocket, and you don't want to see that. So I try to keep as far out as possible just to grab the zip tape like here.
This is just to hold your zipper
This
tape
is
to
to
the
hold the
weld.
zipper to the weld. And you can, like I said, I was going to do it doing the pocket bag at the same time, and that's cool, but for illustration purposes, I'll just show it this way. It is more foolproof. You can't miss. So just an 1/8 inch from the edge. Big stonking boots. We'll tie this off for OCD purposes. See, I should have back tagged that. That would save me a few minutes, but OCD. It is OCD, but it does guarantee that nothing will ever unravel. Well, as much as you can guarantee something like that. I like the thought of a stitch coming undone later.
Bummer.
Yeah. Your paisley liner is going to be so cool.
Is it the way you went for on the liner?
Yeah, my wife said it was a little girly.
Well, my brother's always said I'm a Metro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my brother has said that about me too, actually.
You like what you like, that's how I look at it.
It was purple and teal or green?
That's the color of the...
Yeah, and it's got some gold in there and some
Oh, sure.
silver. It's pretty cool, and it feels really nice too. It's 100% cotton and kind of a lighter weight. My favorite linings are cotton, just because they're so durable.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. It's gonna go really well that way.
A bunch of hearts and 100% and stuff popping up. They just kind of run through every now and then.
No. Maybe they just liked that comment. Or agreed with your comment on being Metro.
Oh, we love that. Tony is Metro.
Is your brother older or younger?
He's older.
I have a younger brother who is actually way more mature than I am. So he's like my younger, older brother. He's got to keep me in line.
Yeah, he was a Valentine's baby.
Oh.
And then I was a Friday the 13th baby.
Oh, wow. My mom was Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
October.
Mine's November.
The perfect Friday the 13th baby.
October. Yeah.
So my dad was a Halloween baby. He went it on all his bad luck.
Nice. Okay. Fun times here. Burn that guy. There we go. We got plenty of room. Clean well there.
Sorry. much kind of wandering back and
I'll
forth.
try to remember. It's only been once or twice.
See, like I didn't even turn the chat back around, so I can't. If people ask a bunch of questions, I would never be able to see it.
I got you.
So I'm gonna assume that for your jacket, you want closed. You want the pull to be toward the inside of the jacket.
Uh-huh.
That's how I like them too. Okay, so now we'll do the pocket bag. To look just like so. We'll do this and this. Back over to the machine.
Oh, you're gonna sew that on there?
Yep. Sorry, I'm back and forth so much.
That's all right.
Alright.
Camera guys.
It's a push a button.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
This is annoying though. That's a little zipper pull. Fighting. Okay. Pretty equal there. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna try to grab like a 1/4 inch of this pocket bag.
Translate this one.
Huh?
Oh, someone just commented in our video, a Spanish statement, Portuguese. And it's Google translated it to, it was already making the turn to be able to land at the airport.
Nice.
She was watching and went to text somebody and accidentally typed it into the Facebook comments.
Nice.
Or maybe when we were talking about the airport, she just wanted to share.
Okay, there we go. That looks right. Ish. And more exciting thread tying. That's what most of this is for me.
Exciting thread ties.
Yep.
With each knot, a jacket comes to life.
Yes. And I get 2 minutes older.
Letterworks.
2 minutes older every time. See, I need an assistant that does this that I just hand it to. Tie these off, you know.
I
Tie
need to
them.
sew another. I mean, I'm standing here with my arms crossed.
Yeah, but I can't make you do it,
Oh,
right?
I don't guess so.
Not unless you really feel like we need to speed this process up.
I think we're going plenty fast. So.
Okay. So now we'll do this guy. Okay, same deal. Well, this fail cloth is very floppy.
Full floppy fail.
I usually use the canvas and it's not as floppy. But it's not as comfortable on the back of your hand either, so this will be nice.
What are some of the other jackets you have?
Like moleskin or, you know, really heavy, nice cotton, kind of a soft hand cotton. No, we're going to get lazy here. I'm just going to back tack this like I'm doing. Ooh, it's fast movers.
Especially when you push the pedal all the way down.
I learned how to drive this Cobra. This is the Honey Badger edition. There we go. No, all the way down. Okay, now you won't be so bored.
So boring.
Let's pull it through and clip it.
Yeah, we watched Denny hand sew before, double loop lace.
Well, that's interesting though. You're learning something. Everybody knows how to tie a knot, right? Like tying your shoe.
Not young children.
Oh, well.
So if a young child wants to learn how to make a jacket,
That would be cool. He'd end up being some kind of a prodigy.
a leather jacket prodigy.
Yeah.
Instead of getting
Probably be the
started.
first of your kind.
Probably would be. Okay, so we got that. So, what is the camera looking at right now?
Right where your hand's at.
Okay, so you can actually see what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Okay. So there's the back of the pocket, here's the front of the pocket. Just kind of lay it out evenly. Somewhat evenly. See, a true professional would iron these seams down. Which I'm not. I'm not that.
And we also don't have an iron set out.
Yeah.
I
That's why
can go get one.
No, it's okay. We don't need to do that. I do a lot of, I iron all the lining pieces a few times, but I'm not gonna do that here because my machine's not here and you know, all that.
All that jazz.
So I guess. So then we'll just catch the corner of this welt. Is our plan.
Starting in the leather.
Yeah, just the corner of the welt. So that way it leaves room for that back piece to fold down.
Mm-hmm.
That is imperative. Make sure I'm somewhat even here. And for me, these chest tight pockets are kind of just decorative. I don't use them very much. That's why I make them small. If I'm ever putting anything in there, it's something really tiny. So I don't make them super deep. Unless someone were to want one really deep.
How much are you supposed to do it, Chevy? He said he got docked a point for tying a knot, so he needs to run the opposite.
He got docked at point, or I did?
No, he did.
So at the leather debut,
Oh.
in one of his projects that he entered into Sheridan,
Maybe he just didn't tie the knot very
it's
well.
definitely an opinion-based judging too, because there was one guy I was listening to talk about when he was judging saddles. He didn't judge this year, but he's judged before. He was saying that he doesn't prefer the lighter thread on a saddle. He wants to use darker thread. And it's like,
Oh.
so it's very opinion-based. So like them saying they didn't like.
I docked you a point because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's lame.
They have to find reasons at that level.
Yeah.
Is essentially what it is because everything's so good.
Yeah.
Like a lady that she did a painting and she embossed the pearls around the neck of one of the ladies. She didn't do the same embossing on the wrist, so she got docked a point and took second place for that.
Wow.
Because they couldn't find anything else wrong with it.
What if the lady wasn't able to afford a matching set of pearls?
We talking real pearls?
We're talking real person pearls, not leatherwork pearls.
Wow.
They want me to
No,
flip the thread and melt it back into the hole, is what he said. It still looked good, Chevy. Whether you tied it or you did that, your piece was phenomenal.
Okay, now we got a pocket, and it can fold back.
A folding back pocket.
We need it to fold back, so we've covered this. Okay.
Next
Now
up.
I'm moving.
I feel like this pocket didn't take as long as the other one.
Maybe not. It should have taken longer. But I don't know. We're not done yet.
We're all but there. We just about got it licked. And by we, I mean you. Oh, yeah, you're right. We haven't pulled the double stick tape yet, so that might take a while.
That could take eons. It's really comfortable in here, I've noticed. The temperature. I didn't know if I was going to be hot or cold, but
It's just right.
it's just right in here.
That's the cool part about being able to control our AC.
this guy. We'll go ahead and put a little piece on.
Last year, our summer, one of our AC units went out, and I felt bad for the rest of the building because you walk out there and they're all sweating and miserable, and we're in our room just fine and dandy.
Why are you
Nice.
guys so hot?
Yeah.
Okay, so here, I gotta pull both pieces of tape. Tuck this little ball in there. There we go. And then we'll find our little arbitrary starting point, which I didn't even come close to hitting last time. So same thing, we're going to sew this on the same way, except for this welt. This other welt's already in place. We'll just keep this folded back.
Make sure we don't sew our pocket down.
That's right. So that's folded back out of the way. Okay, back to the machine.
Back to the machine we go.
Alright.
Use a soldering iron, Chevy, and stick it all the way down in the hole so you can burn it all the way back down in there.
I kind of like the sound of the soldering iron technique, but can't. It's too late in the game to be learning new tricks.
Too late to turn back.
Well, it's not too late in the
Oh.
game, it's just too late in the video game today to learn how to do that. Okay. I am tucked back, triple check, since you didn't jump in to make sure for me.
I'm glad you did it. I was still on the welting double welt part.
And this is somewhat cantankerous because of the zipper pull. Right, we caught all that, yay. With all these folds, that it's really easy to come across a skip stitch. So I go extra slip. Pound for just a smidge. Yeah. There we go.
Andy said we have a very nice thread zapper. You can get surgical with one of those things.
Ooh, yeah, I've seen those actually. That was something I thought about picking up. And I almost did a bonehead maneuver, so luckily I did not.
I was
Just going straight
gonna
across.
ask how you were gonna go around that and get your other piece up
Yeah.
there.
Good thing I called it, huh? So then, do the ever so exciting
Not time.
knot tying. Where's Mama T? Let's have Mama T come back and tie all my knot. She's always so proficient at that in her video. Oh, come on now. There we go. There you are. Yay. Oh no. This is the cantankerous one. Gotcha. And we'll just fold that over. So now that little piece of tape just keeps this from falling back.
Flopping back.
Yep.
Flip it over.
Yep, that's all that it's doing. So then we'll start back right here where we left off. And since I pushed it through that way, I'll make sure my pocket didn't fold back with it. Find my button string somewhere.
Is your pocket running down and not up?
It's running down. Running down.
The banging in the tooling videos can get loud sometimes. Yeah, the only reason that is, Meyer, is because the voices were going in and out, so I took the compression off, so now you just get full audio of the banging and not compression.
Yeah. Triple check. That's better. Let me see if that puts me somewhere close. Doing full stitch. Okay. That's still out of the way. We'll roll this one up. Kinda like
Pocket
so.
didn't flop.
Pocket did not flop. See?
No, no
Trust
flop in
me?
the pocket.
Trust me?
I was just trying to add more to it.
Ooh. Call that one just in the nick of time.
So I just took the last second.
Don't you do it again now. Proceed. Alright. Last pass here. Towards the back side. This part is sometimes a fight. Right in the other hole. Guess what time it is?
Time to tie knots.
Yep.
Tie the knot again.
Oh, that's tangled up for some reason. Uh-oh.
Stuck.
This actually might be an exciting knot to watch.
The motor on that machine sounds terrible. I don't know what you mean. It sounds like all the machines that we have.
Oh, look at this.
Does it sound different than your motor at home?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think it sounds terrible per se, but I don't have the experience that that commenter may have. It sounds a little, I mean, maybe crunchier.
It sounds like all the machines that I've used here.
Maybe that's what your motor sounds like when you use it a lot.
Oh, maybe you should get on your machine more, let it go.
This is like kindergarten level tying knots. I got a 1/2 inch piece of thread on one side. There we go. It broke on me. Yay. It's all done. Just throw my threads everywhere. That should be better.
Probably use a tune-up. I think Ryan was saying it's like one of the most used sewing machines in the shop. So
This one?
yeah, a lot of people will sit down at it and work on projects.
How old do you think it is?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's been here since.
Maybe since I started working here.
Nice. So they're reliable then. Is this different? This is missing a couple features of mine. That mine has, and it's nice to see it's still up and running.
Yeah, so I got here in 2018. We didn't put any install date on it.
Okay. So here we have a working zipper,
With a ball and chain.
ball and chain,
And our pocket's not.
and our pockets not sewn together.
Farm Fresh Jesse is rating with a party of 9.
Whoa.
Well, this cow that we're using is not really farm fresh anymore. It's been tanned.
It's been tanned and colored and
But welcome in.
stretched and split.
I wonder what Farm Fresh Jesse does.
I don't know.
I have chickens in my backyard, so I get farm fresh eggs. Well, Tony's backyard fresh eggs.
So you're practically a millionaire if you've got your own eggs, right? Your own source of eggs.
Oh yeah.
Has the price of eggs come down any? I know it was a
I-
meme,
I-
a meme for a while. Okay.
I have no idea because I go out to the backyard
Then just get
and
your
I
eggs.
get them out of the laying
They're no
box.
longer $6 a dozen.
They were in Florida. They were $6.50 because I did look there because I did not bring eggs with me to Florida because I flew on a plane. I don't know if you can fly with eggs.
I don't know. It seems like too much hassle.
And weird carry-on.
Yeah.
I did make sure they're not having lithium batteries, whatever they go through.
That's true. Or a bottle of liquid bigger than this. Or something.
That's what my wife says, but I've
My
been
deodorant
I've been pre-check, like I do pre-check, and like I bring my full tube of toothpaste and whatever. And I go.
Nice. And they don't care.
And I've never had anybody say anything.
Okay, so here at this stage, I would do the other side, but we're not going to film that, correct? Because of the redundancy?
Well, FarmFest Jesse says that used to stream my horse farm until I met you a long time ago and decided to drop in when I saw you on. Well, very cool. I think I remember seeing you at one point because my girls both ride. Anyway, let's go back. You're
Well,
back
you
up.
f- you
We're
finish
making
your
a leather. We're
thought.
making a leather jacket, by the way. That's what we're doing. $12 a dozen in California.
Wow. Move your chickens out to California and set up shop.
Yeah. All right. We got two pockets done. One with a zipper. One with a
Yep.
with no zipper.
Yeah, so we have the left side front done. Now here's where I would do the right side, do the
Mhm.
same thing I just did, but we're
Mhm.
not going to film that, right? Because of redundancy.
Yep.
Okay. So what do you want to do next?
But what would be next in the project of half a jacket? Do you have to do the other pocket? Do you have to do the other jacket?
That's what I would generally do, and then start joining everything together. But we can pick up there tomorrow, or we can move on to doing a sleeve or something today, and then I'll finish the other sleeve.
Can you start connecting, doing I don't know how you assemble the sleeve.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can make a sleeve if you want to do that now.
You make a sleeve and then put it on the jacket?
No.
You put it on the...
I gotta have the vest made before I put any sleeves on. It's gotta be a vest before it can be a jacket. You gotta crawl before you walk.
So you can make the sleeve without
Yeah.
messing up any of the other steps.
Yeah, I can just make the sleeves.
Let's make a sleeve.
Oh, let's make a sleeve.
Okay.
Okay.
Glad we talked that through.
Okay.
Well, here we got that done and we got this done. So let's move our done
Okay.
stuff over here. Okay.
So we got that. Now we need a sleeve. We need to pick a side. Right sleeve.
So we did a left front and we're gonna do
Let's
a
do a
right
right sleeve.
Okay.
Okay, so I need... That's not the right one. That's the right one. See how the curves match?
Mm-hmm. When
Okay.
you're upside down, you're matching curves.
Yes, when you're upside down. So then I need one of these guys. And it's obviously not that one. It's this one. So there. That's our underneath of the sleeve. So we'll get back with our glue, which I'm sure is as hard as Play-Doh at this point. And I'll do this and you'll come save me with a paper towel.
You did it though. I don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything.
What came first, the vest or the jacket? The chicken or the egg?
The best. Getting our little glue bit on there. Just to hold it for us. I guess I could demonstrate it without the glue and just using clips. But this leather is pretty slippery. He says.
Kings wore vests.
Did they?
That's what Michael said. And Chevy says we're all wrong.
Always. Always wrong.
Aerial flood watch in effect for Missouri.
Really?
Springfield.
Supposed to rain today?
No, Tuesday
Oh.
at 4 p.m.
About 10
To
days
Wednesday.
of rain heading away.
Wow, again?
Didn't we just come off of 15? I had to leave the state to get away from rain.
While I'm waiting on that to dry, I will cut my triangle here.
6, 8.
You can see where I mismarked it last night. I didn't mismark it, I just didn't like how it wasn't toward the center. So I guess technically I did mismark it.
You marked it in an area that you wouldn't. So you're cutting out
So this one, yeah, you're just doing the top.
the crook shank. What do we call that?
Oh, no.
The notch?
Notch, dart, something.
Dart.
It's not technically a dart, though, I don't think.
Okay, a notch. Tonight we're on a solar flare watch. Yes, that's also true. All the way down in southwest Missouri, KP levels might get high enough for us to see it down here. If you know any about solar activities.
Well, are you going to be able to see the northern lights way down here or something?
Maybe, again, they say with the naked eye, but it'll probably have to be a camera.
Yeah, that's the only way I could see that last one.
Yeah.
Cameras. I don't remember what time of year that was. Last spring or something, maybe.
In my VR, I can go to Alaska and look at them in there.
That's cool.
Yeah. I know that's not anything like Beat Saber, but
That is
I do play.
engaging.
I do play a substantial amount of Beat Saber too, so.
I'm just gonna get a little glue on here, like a pocket wilt, so I can fold this back kind of in the same manner.
The sunset last night was pretty though too.
Yeah, it was.
You know what that's thanks to?
No.
The sun going down.
Okay. Thanks.
No.
I thought there was something special with the,
The
sunrise. It was
Canadian-
very
Canadian-
red.
Canadian wildfires.
Okay.
Smoke's blowing down.
Yeah, I noticed it was very reddish.
Yeah.
It was like Colorado one year. They had all the wildfires, and the sunsets were always really pretty. Due to that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm spending way too much time on this.
But we're talking through it,
Okay.
so it's not boring.
No.
We're talking about sunsets, and those are pretty.
This silicone brush has a different feel than my little horsehair brushes. Not that that really matters. So then that'll dry. While that's drying, now I can put this on.
And that seam goes outside to outside.
Basically, I move it in 1/4 of an inch, so when they flip it out, it lines up. If you see what I'm saying, you can see a little 1/4 inch corner there. That's just how they line up. So that's there. We can go sew that.
Okay, go sew.
Make our undersleeve.
Have our pit done.
Our arm pit done. I'll go 1/2 inch-ish. Back tack it for brevity's sake.
Then we don't have to tie no knots.
Yeah. Bothers my OCD, by the way.
Well, let's just say the machine tied the knot for you this time. So there's still a knot tied there.
Forward once more. Check my bobbin. We're good. So generally, on average, it takes about 3 bobbins to do a jacket.
Okay.
Might have a little left over on the 3rd bobbin. Or you might start just a little bit of a 4th one. Oh, I'm tying knots again. Stop that.
You did a backstage. You don't need to tie.
I know.
The machine tied for you.
Stop that. More wrestling with it. Okay, now I'll jump back up there and put a little more glue on that so that'll stay nice and flat.
More glue.
More glue. So we want it to lay like that. Get our top stitch on this smaller panel. So we'll put our glue there.
G. Olson's checking in from work. Want to see how things are going.
Still making a jacket.
Or in the restaurant.
One sleeve at a time.
I'm not 100% convinced that this is Aqualim. Is it?
Yeah.
Or is it the SLC or the other stuff?
No.
Okay. Maybe my sense of smell is off.
Does it smell funny?
No, it just doesn't smell like Aqualim. It just has no smell at all. It's okay. Whatever it is, it's working just fine. Get a little bit on there. Oh, I'm not doubting you.
Let me sniff this bottle. It says 315 on it.
And it very well could be, like I said. I kind of get seasonal allergies. That's why my voice will go weird every once in a while this time of year.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just not smelling it right. Oh, it does smell like Aqualim. I did breathe a little deeper.
I needed a deeper breath.
Yeah. Okay, I believe you now.
You gonna let that dry some?
Just, it doesn't, it matters, but not that much. While I'm letting that dry, we'll do this guy here. Oh, you're gonna hand dry it for me.
I blow dry it.
There you go. Try to get our 1/4 inch fold here.
This is the same process as your pocket.
Except for you only have one end with a triangle.
You only got a one triangle
Yeah.
in, one dart in, one notch
I'm
in.
not sure I'm confident in calling that a dart.
Okay, what do you want to call it?
I don't know.
A triangle?
Triangle guy.
A triangle guy. Only one triangle guy in.
Yeah. Okay, there's one side. This is another thing that's tedious. Folding little bits.
Bits of folding.
Yeah. You're really doing a thorough job of blow drying that.
When I do a job,
You do it all the way.
I make sure it's done right.
You stay down.
I see you went away from the metal hammer I'd given you earlier.
I wondered about the granite. Is it
It
cool?
won't hurt it.
Oh, it won't hurt the granite? Okay.
If it does, I got another piece.
Okay. I didn't know if this was gonna play Mary Hobb on your granite.
Mary Hobb.
Whatever. I've heard that somewhere. I don't even know what Mary Hobb
Can
is.
somebody Google Mary Hobb?
Please. Please do.
The phrase Mary Hobb could be interpreted in a few ways depending on the context. First, the act of marrying someone named Hobb, aka
What movie was
Broke
that
it
in?
like Mary Hobb? Is that what you said?
Play Mary Hobb. Okay, so maybe it was Avatar. The movie Avatar. Yeah, they're flying up in the Hallelujah Mountains, and she says something about it'll play Mary Hobb with her radar or something. And maybe I heard it wrong. Maybe it said something totally different.
What's the line in Avatar, Mary Hobb?
I was very curious before you know the phrase.
Again, I warned you about my incoherent rambling.
Oh, that's basically what I have been doing since 10.
Look what a fine job you've done
Yeah.
drawing that for me.
Yeah.
Playful or I spelled Mary wrong, the way they used it. Could refer to a playful or mischievous spirit, or it could be a humorous way of expressing a festive mood.
Okay. So make all your instruments go silly, maybe.
I see you didn't use the granite or the metal hammer again.
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
And then I'll get rid of that little nubbin. That is another technical term, nubbin.
Nubbin?
Yep. So now, we can go ahead and do this zipper before we put the sleeve together since we're that far.
We've made it so far.
So far. So now, kind of the same thing. Take a little bit of this basting tape. And find the end of it.
Is there a... Oh, see, I need to find... Not that zipper. This one. This one right here. I got
That's your
that.
guy.
I got that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I got that for you, actually.
that's true.
I had to
But
make a
then you-
special order just for Tony.
Then you bound them all together, and I was able to let some loose.
Good. I'm glad. And we'll put just a little bitty bit across the top. Where are my scissors? Oh, there they are. That's just going to get in the way of everybody.
Not if you pull that.
Now if I pull it first.
Tony, who are you cheering for in the World Series tournament? That all the calls will be right, all the umpires will be in the correct position, and that we will have no effect on the outcome of any said game.
I feel like that's a contracted statement.
No, I just made it up as I was saying it.
Some
I'm just
strategic wording there.
I'm just a fan of good softball. Well, good.
Just good
Competition.
sports in general, yeah.
Like I like a good Super Bowl. I like lots of. Good competition. What happened?
Well, it kind of disintegrated mid-pull.
It Mary hobbed on you
Yeah, it did.
in a playful manner.
Yes. So we're going to start fresh, halfway down.
You don't say. A sports official has to stay neutral. You don't if you're in the NBA. You can just bet on your team in the NBA until they find out. Then they frown upon it.
And I make sure I'm facing the right way.
There you go. Come down here.
There we go. So now I'll make sure this zipper is the correct length. It is, because I started 1.5 inches up. Now that we got that kind of right there, it's not straight yet.
No sticking.
No sticking yet. Get it straightened up. Hold it there. Kind of work it down an eighth or 3/16, somewhere in there, all the way down, just to keep the zipper straight.
Chris Lynch, hi. I hope you enjoyed your day today.
Hmm?
I hope you just say, I hope you enjoy your day.
For where?
From Facebook.
Oh,
They should added a couple X's at the end of the day, so.
if you staple the scissor to a pounder board, it won't move away while you place it in the lighter. Look at that. I was talking and, instead of like spit coming out, you know what I'm saying?
What happened?
A bubble came out.
Cool. That's very rare.
I've never had that happen in my whole 43 years.
Well, at least there is video evidence of it.
I don't know if it got on video.
Well. Oh, yeah, that's true. Well,
'Cause
maybe,
we're watching-
Maybe.
We're watching you and not me. You up for the series? I don't know what level you're at. I did my regional at Florida State, and then that was the end of my season. So I am not at the World Series. I am in Springfield. If I was at the World Series, I'd be there now. There's 10 umpires that are there. In 2017, I did the Division II National Championship, which is considered the World Series for Division II.
You've done it. So here we're going to do it once more with the basting tape. And now we're going to fold this guy back. Get him captured like that.
Are these cut the same, or they have different shapes?
They have different angles on them. There's a right and a left. And that's why I got off when I marked that earlier. I told you I mismarked it because I forgot to.
You're doing the right one?
Yeah. Correct.
Well, I will leave the left one over there. And hand you the one that has an R on it.
That would be right. Get this guy folded over so it stays out of the way.
No purpose other than just keep it out of the way.
Just tucks it away forever. Make sure that's all good and sticking everywhere. And then we will unzip it. Like so. And then we will come back to the back and pick a side. Let's do this side. And this does say R. I see you've done it. Feel how thin that is.
I know.
I know you made a remark on how you liked the idea of the gusset being really thin. So
Did he thin it even more?
no, I just found the thinnest spot.
Oh.
I found like the one area that was thinner than everything else, and I kind of went there for your gussets. Okay, so now I'm gonna get in here with an eyeball and just kind of make sure we're running straight up and down.
So you're just lining that up.
I'm gonna line it up fully open, like so. Give myself about a fat 1/4 inch down along there, and then just make sure the gusset is lined up, going down the back. So it will look like so. Double check, make sure I got overlap everywhere, and I'm gonna grab the gusset everywhere, like so. Get that all nice and sticky. And then we'll flip this one. I know I'm not gonna have luck with my left hand. There we go. And do the same thing, and then we'll put our crease right there.
So now you are opening it so that when
Yep.
you do close it down, that will fold.
Yep. So I see. Make sure I grab plenty. Up here. I think I did. Let's double check. Yep. Got it. And that's what the sleeve zip will look like. And then we'll go to the machine and sew it around. And that's done. Just one stitch holds the zippers in.
All right.
And it's been like that on every jacket I've ever taken apart or seen. I'm sure there's some magical way to do it with two seams. I'm gonna try it. Okay. So we'll take this over to the machine and
Are we doing this one too?
I'll connect that one in a minute. Oh
Okay.
yeah, I am gonna do that. I'll take it with me, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
That way, if we have to tie knots, we're tying knots all on the same, all
Yeah.
pieces.
It reminded me I did not have a top stitch on that thing.
I do know all the umpires that are calling at the World Series. If that means anything to you, Gene.
So now we'll just try to stay as straight as we can. And close, a little tiny, narrow top stitch. So we grab all our stuff.
We'll probably do both of these stitches, look at what we've done, and then call it a day.
Yeah, and I can do the other redundant parts either here, unless you guys are doing more videos today. I can just do it here because I'm not sure the stitching is going to match up, or the stitch count will match up the same as my machine at home. I guess I could take a panel home and compare them, but whatever. I'm just rambling again. I'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll build the sleeve, and then that takes care of the redundance. I don't think there's any more redundance other than patching sleeves later. Okay. Looks like it's right enough. Yes.
Yeah, I'm friends with most of the people that are at the World Series. Some I've worked with, some of them I haven't. But just because we haven't been put on a game together. What do I think about the MLB investing in some pro softball league? We talked about that earlier. The league that they invested in is the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, which took place of the National Pro Fast Pitch League, which I have called in. We also have another pro league that's called the WPF, which is Women's Fast Pitch. WFP. I know you weren't here earlier. So we actually have two pro leagues. They should just stop and then make it all one. Quit fiddle farting around.
Fiddle farting here. We'll tie our knots in a minute after we do this guy.
No, you can do your redundancy here.
Just go just like so. Do this guy.
Because Justin will go back to his desk and do stuff. I'll go back to my desk and do stuff. Other than if you need your foot.
I will need my foot tomorrow. Although this one's not doing too bad. I just have to pay closer attention as to how straight I'm doing. Because I don't have a little cheater guide. And the other foot presses the outside of these top stitches really well too. Or the folded over seam part. I don't know what the terminology for that is. It really helps keep that really flat as you're sewing. Okay. Now, knot tying. So fun. So when I make jackets, I do it at home in a back bedroom.
Yeah.
And every time I'm done with a jacket, I've got little bits of thread like this scattered from one end of the house to the other. They fall off my pants, they fall out of my beard if I have a little facial hair. They're everywhere. My wife really likes that.
She's a big fan.
Big fan of the threads and the messes that I make everywhere.
She has a leather jacket though, doesn't she?
She does.
Yeah.
She has number 4. No, she has number 5. She has number 5. Hers was very complicated.
She probably did it on purpose.
Well, she didn't know about it until it was a Christmas present,
Oh.
and I was a day late. I was a day late getting it to her, but I got it.
She just figured you didn't get anything.
No, I told her that it was coming. She wouldn't be surprised if I forgot it was Christmas. I'm not very good at date keeping.
Yeah.
Some guys are pretty good at it. I fall short. I don't even know what day it is. Usually, ever.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you remembered to come in today.
Yeah, I did remember that.
I think the league will grow enough to spread, speed, to spread out of their one location and get national coverage. The new commissioner that they have, I think she's doing a good job. I think she was a front office for Texas Ranger or something like that. I'm not really sure. But this is the most attention that it's gotten in a long time. Usually the only ones that know about the pro leagues are the ones that are calling in it or that care about softball. So the Athletes Unlimited has been a pro league. This will be its 4th year, its 5th year, something like that. So now you're just now hearing about it, so you can see how well it's done before. And it had ESPN coverage, so there's that.
So now we got 2 parts of our sleeve. And we'll stick it together like that.
We can do that now?
We can do that now. If
Okay.
you want.
Yep.
Or we can do it later. I don't care.
We'll do that last stitch and then we'll be done.
There's actually 3 more stitches to finish the sleeve. So it's up to you.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were close when we got done with the zipper.
Now we got to put this one on
Okay.
with our main seam, and then we're going to make a top stitch,
Okay.
and then we're going to turn the sleeve inside out, and then attach or finish
Very
the
good.
sleeve.
Keep going.
You
Keep
wanna
rolling.
do that? Okay.
Let me get this out of our way.
Yeah, we won't need that probably. But I got to get the glue back out. Unless you think we should, give an example of basting tape being used for it. It's the same thing.
Now you've done it.
Did anybody see that?
No.
Okay, good.
It was on the small corner.
Okay, good. I haven't figured out how to operate a glue bottle yet. So let's get just a tiny smidge glue along this edge. Oh, see, I'll glue everything else up, won't I? And these kind of things are what really adds up to a little 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here.
Yeah,
Maybe
gluing
waiting
it
for glue to dry or something, but it really helps.
when somebody can blow on it.
No, it just really helps having the glue here instead of fighting it through your machine. It
Oh yeah.
kind of makes up for it. So
Yeah. So I think the Pro League last year
what if I put you to work?
we were in Wichita.
You okay with that?
I don't feel like working now.
You don't? You don't want to do some glue? Well,
No.
there it is if you want to. You want to help.
No. I thought about it.
And see, you can just do that. We can cut down on some time.
Am I going just from this seam?
Yep.
All the way.
This all the way to the tip. And I can do it. I was just saying if you're bored there with your hands.
Oh no. I was just fiddling with my thumbs and reading chat. I was having a great time with what I was doing.
And then I ruined it, making you work and stuff. It certainly doesn't take much, and it doesn't have to be pretty. You just tax it.
Oh, like
See, look, anybody can do it.
anybody can glue.
Even Tony can make a leather jacket.
No, I can glue the pieces for a leather jacket.
There's our little zipper functioning.
Nice. With our sleeve gusset.
Mm-hmm. And I could go ahead and glue this side, but it's just gonna get sticky and get in my way.
We can't have that.
Oh, you're good. See, I should have you doing all the gluing, because look how nice you did that. Look how thin it is, and mine's all globby.
I mean, you never realize how good somebody could be at gluing.
Until I see you do it. Okay, there we go.
CG.
Go on that.
I've been watching and listening the whole time, but I'm busy packing for a couple trips, so I haven't been commenting. I'll watch the rest of the videos when I get back. Thanks, William. William lives in Neosho.
Oh, cool. They used to have a really cool music store there called Fly By Night. I used to make little pilgrimages down there, but then they shut down, and I don't know if I've been to Neosho since.
I called once in Neosho. That Crowder? Is Crowder in Neosho?
Yeah. Okay, so we have this all glued up. In theory. Quite dry.
Yeah, Michael, I don't know that the paddles will be done by the 14th.
I'm going to use a couple clips on this anyway. Do you guys sell little leather clips like this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, I got mine at Wawak. I didn't know you had them.
Yep, we have little clips, or you can just use binder clips,
Oh, yeah, like little purse clips.
or just
That's
like
what
the
I call
physical purse. Oh, yeah.
I call them purse clips. Well, my wife calls them purse clips. Okay,
Yeah.
that's enough to hold that together. There we are. So we'll sew that thing,
All right,
and if this is going to end up being a little long, then that's fine because I straighten it all out later.
and trim it.
Trim it, get it all good. So we'll go sew it up.
Next up, sewing and knot tying.
Best. Anyone who's here is here for the knot tying.
If I stay over here, then I can see you sewing. What great lighting you have over there.
I know, it's almost professional.
Let's not get crazy. Hey, hopeful hero. Oh, William lives in Nevada, not Neosho. That's where I have been to Cotty College.
Okay.
Their softball team.
So we were in left field somewhere talking earlier.
Well, no, we were just talking about Neosho, and Tony saying wrong that William lives in a different city than he lives in. But he does live in Missouri. I have been to Cotty College.
I don't know what that is.
It's a college. Goes by the name of Cotty. Just a community college, I believe. They have a softball team. That's why I was there.
That's what you know.
Surprisingly enough. They have a building out in left field, I believe, is where you hit a home run far enough and you hit it off the wall. You really zipped down that sleeve.
That's pretty slow still. I'd go faster if I had my other foot.
Oh. Brought your wrong leg with you?
On the wrong leg. Let's see some knot time. I did remember to back tack the cuff, but not up here at the shoulder.
So no knot tying.
So no knot tying at the cuff, but knot tying at the shoulder.
You got the yawns.
You got the yawns?
Yeah, I need some protein.
Yeah, where's Rusty with our Red Bull and M&Ms?
Freaking peanut M&Ms. He didn't come back with nothing.
Yep. Green peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, I told him to make sure that he just licked all the colors off the other ones and then painted them green, so that the whole bag was green.
Oh.
But I wasn't going to tell you that part. But since he didn't come back with it, it doesn't really matter.
What kind of paint's he using?
Food grade.
Okay.
Food grade paint.
Good enough. Here we go.
Now we have a sleeve done.
No.
Now what?
Now we got top stitch. So we want the top stitch on the big panel in the upper sleeve. So we're going to fold it like this so that we can do a top stitch down here. But to do that and make it easier, I'm going to put a little glue on the back of it.
Oh, okay. You want me to glue that right here?
Yep, just like, and overlap it a little bit. You can do a full inch on this guy if you want to. We'll meet in the middle.
Need that old Georgia pine. We gained a lot of ground. Both give a little.
These little,
Ain't no road too long.
little glue boogers here. You're so much better at this than I am.
So the thing I make is lineup card holders, leather lineup card holders, and it is a lot of gluing.
Okay, so you just got an expert hand at the gluing.
And I'm not a first timer with the spatula.
Yeah, I'm a second timer today. Yeah, you get that. What I was talking about earlier with the kind of deep grooves or scratches on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get some of these. What are these, vein marks
Yeah,
or something? Sometimes you get those really deep,
Yep.
and those were what I try to avoid. Otherwise, these end up looking cool after it's kind of broken. They kind of show themselves to the front, to the top grain there. Okay, we're good there.
And then after we top stitch,
Then we're just going to make it a sleeve. We're going to connect the other
then
two.
we'll connect the.
And then we'll
Okay.
turn the sleeve inside out, and you'll see that it's actually a
So
sleeve.
it's fully cylindered
Yes.
when you attach it to the jacket.
That's the way I do it.
I see.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there's another way that you don't have to do it that way, and it's probably much better. Or not. I don't know. When I'm at it, I'll cut the back of this.
Cotty is a small women's college. It's now 4-year degrees as well as 2-year. About 300 students. William was on faculty.
Small women's college? So you have to be like a really small woman?
Yeah, you can't be very tall.
Okay.
5'2" or under.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that wasn't the amount of students that were there at all. That didn't matter to the
Just
small.
the small women.
Yeah, I think actually that book, Little Women, I think that was where that was written.
Okay.
At the small women's college.
All making sense. It's all coming together.
that over there. Yes. Okay. This is kind of one of the more interesting stitches to sew. Especially
It's like
with
a-
thicker leather.
It's like a canoe.
It is, but then you can flatten it out. But on the real stiff leather, it wants to remain being a canoe as you're running it through the machine.
Helpful hero was impressed with our jokes.
Ah, one of the best. There we go. How you like that?
How you like me now?
That'll work. Now we'll sew it up.
Sorry, I think in songs mostly.
You do, I've noticed. What is this? Get under there. This might look funny. Gotta wear it. And I got a little glue on the front side. Uh-oh. A little pro tip is don't sew your thumb into the leather panel.
Yeah, it's not recommended
No.
to sew any of your appendages.
No.
Little cup action.
A little cupping.
Yeah. Would it hurt if I push that down?
No, it wouldn't hurt. I don't think.
I just don't want to mesh it up, but still be visible.
Was that a skip stitch? Almost felt like it was. Caught it. Just in the nick of time.
What's it doing?
We just hit a extra gluey spot, or a spot that's not super pressed down maybe. Okay, got it. Every now and then. As long as we catch them, we're happy.
If you're going turbo speed, you wouldn't see it.
You wouldn't see it, and then you'd have to go back and spend all the time fixing it. I could probably deal with an advanced tutorial on how to run an industrial machine. I know the basics.
So Michael said he sewed 2 fingers together using a sewing machine.
I've heard stories, that's why I gave the pro tip.
The doctor thought it was wildly fun.
Had a few employees send a needle through their thumb.
William did clarify now. He said it's a small college for women. Some are pretty tall, especially the one on the basketball team.
Okay.
So we misunderstood that.
Yeah. Hey, don't you get that.
Yeah, you might try one with a double stitch. I think it looked pretty good.
I have done one with a double stitch.
What'd you think
For
of
a
it?
guy in Chicago. It was really cool. But the design of the jacket kind of lended itself to it.
And then you have to plan for your seam allowances as well. It's a wider seam allowance, so you have room to do a double top stitch. I guess if they were not spaced very far apart, you could still use it on a 1/2 inch seam allowance.
Yeah. And one really just being more decorative than
Yeah.
usable.
Oh no, got another skip stitch.
That's probably the part I glued.
No, that's me. It was up toward the shoulder. We're almost done. Almost through.
We've got a lot of extra parts left to be done.
I mean, we're done with this stitch.
Oh, I see. My mistake. Like a small women's college mistake.
Yeah. Honest mistake.
William's come in and sat in on videos before. As a connoisseur of Springfield leather videos.
Does he need to remain quiet when he does that, or does he get to
He
do a live chat, real live?
sometimes he does a live chat. Sometimes he just does a live sit. But if anybody plans for time to come into Springfield Leather and they want to sit in on a video, we have been known to do live studio audiences.
Nice. Got any canned laughter or anything like that? Canned
No.
applause?
No, I'm just funny enough
Nice.
that we get actual laughter.
Okay. And we almost have a sleep. Let me bump into that.
Yeah, careful with that shell.
Okay.
Now
See, now it's almost asleep.
what do I need to sew? I mean glue. Am I gluing anything else?
Sure, you can glue this side if you want.
Okay.
If you feel like it.
Nah.
I'm gonna make you do it. Get my glue boogers off here. Sprinkle them all over the table. Get us a little more.
Dipping sauce? Right next to the glue boogers.
Sorry. No one said I knew what I was doing.
Goodness.
I never claimed to know what I was doing. Too much up there. You're so much more precise than I am. Slob.
I thought you were a Finnish carpenter.
Yeah, but with glue, I'm a slob.
That is true. My father-in-law owns a general contracting firm, and the guys that would do the finish stuff would just lay the glue on, sand it off.
Yep. That's up to the painter, you know. He can clean up our crap. We gotta clean up everybody else's.
How far am I going?
Just up there is
Right
good.
there?
Yep.
You just need to work on getting you a bead right on the end,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just use that end of it.
I will work on it. This is a new tool to me. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you showed it to me, though. I don't have to spend $100 a year on stupid brushes.
And you can see how efficient you can be afterwards, after you get to be a seasoned professional.
Seasoned. How long does it take to become seasoned?
Well, I mean, I've worked here since 2018, and I started really producing my lineup card holders around 2019.
Okay. So,
You got
5 years
a couple-
plus. Okay.
to be a silicone gluer.
Well, that's something to look forward
I mean,
to.
when did Renia come out?
I have no idea.
Whenever we started carrying Aqualim is when I started getting proficient with the silicone thing, because we didn't have it before then. I was a pretty messy gluer before then. Those horsehair brushes.
Yeah, they're kind of messy, but I mean, you can get just a little in the end, and it's so fast. But yeah, they're kind of crap. And
Yeah.
look at me, I'm wearing my leather bits. Okay, that's probably not dry yet.
We didn't blow on any.
So save something funny for a couple of minutes.
I did say something funny this last week while I was out, but it's not something that I can tell
Oh.
live.
Never mind then.
It's not a live. What are you thinking about for lunch?
I don't eat lunch.
No?
No,
What'd you have for breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast.
Oh, okay. What's for dinner?
Oh, we'll see. I don't know.
Wow. Are
No,
you the
really,
cook at the house?
I usually don't never eat breakfast or lunch.
No.
No, I've just always kind of been that way. I start eating at like 5 and don't stop eating until like midnight.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do.
I don't eat breakfast either, but I gotta eat lunch.
Sometimes, I mean, rarely I'll eat lunch, but I have a strict no breakfast policy.
Strict.
Yeah, it's a very rare occurrence that I'll eat anything for breakfast.
So eggs wouldn't matter to you anyway.
Oh, I eat eggs for dinner. I love breakfast for dinner. If that makes any sense. I don't like a morning meal, we'll put it that way. Okay, that's still not 100% dry, so we'll... some clips.
Which one did it hold? Did it hold Michael Seegers? Ask him what name of a candy bar. Oh. A male would not call his third leg. Name of a candy bar a male would not call his third leg.
A male would not call his third leg.
We're making a leather jacket. Orange Dam.
Well, I'm really thinking about that because I'm sure there's a funny one. How about zero?
A zero.
I'll call it a zero.
Probably call
Or
it
Baby Ruth.
Probably call it a Twizzler. That's not a candy bar though.
That's true.
A Twix.
Twix.
Butterfinger.
That's weird.
Oh, see, there you go, Butterfinger, because no one lays a hand on your Butterfinger.
Oh, let's see, there it is, and there's the punchline. You found it, I didn't. Okay, let's sew this and be done sewing. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That one just turns. There's no top stitch on that one.
Nope. You cannot put a top stitch on this one.
That would be very hard.
Very
Even with
hard.
a cylinder arm machine.
Yeah, you'd need like a track machine or
A
something.
track machine.
I'm just making that up. I don't even know if there is such a thing. And somebody's going to chime in and say, yes, you can do it. And here's how. And I will not know.
Any expert jacket makers out here watching this, let us know if you can put a top stitch
On both of your sleeve seams.
on both of your
sleeve
sleeve seams.
I just said sleeve seams. That's awesome.
Sleeve slings. A French seam.
I guess you could probably do that. Maybe, but still, how would you get your top stitches? We'll illustrate when I get this thing done. Why I think it's impossible.
Dang, really zipping along there.
This seam doesn't really ever need to be pretty. Sure, I'm not going to do anything dumb.
So the first line before a post machine.
Maybe? That'll work.
Are we done with our plate of glue?
With our what?
Our plate of glue?
Yes.
I'll say to you, are you gonna finish up here? You gonna do the other part here? Or you gonna take it to the house?
I'll just probably, I don't know, do it here.
That's up to you. But I'll leave you.
So I don't have to, this is the only spool of this thread I have.
Oh.
I don't want to have to unhook it, bring it back. And
Right.
So I'll just whip it out real quick.
Careful.
Oh, I know it's your jacket. I'll be careful.
No. It was.
Oh, okay. Whip it out real quick. Gotcha.
It was something different.
I will just bust it out.
Okay.
Forgot that was the trajectory
Well, we just talked
our
about
conversation has
Butterfingers.
taken. Yeah. Okay. There's knots tied. Little gadgets here. Pardon me.
Now do we turn our sleeve inside out?
Now we turn the sleeve inside out. And this hide should be pretty forgiving when we do that, because it's thin.
Mm-hmm.
When it's 4 ounce, it's not fun at all. I mean, not even a little bit. So just start at the top. Get kind of a cuff thing going. If I can do that. And then we get
Chevy said, "Keep up with her level of lewdness."
there's a sleeve. Even acts like a sleeve and everything.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm trying to think of how you can do.
Yeah, see, now show me a machine that can get in there and put a stitch all the way down.
Yeah.
Maybe it's out there. I don't know.
Yeah, because you can't do it beforehand. Man, even just doing that softens it up a whole lot more.
Oh, just turn it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you wear this thing for a week, I bet it'll be like lambskin.
I'm gonna
Kinda
be,
like
I'm
what
gonna
the
be
Venetian
dope
does.
as hell. Is that kid still saying that these days?
I'm not a kid, I don't know.
You got a little kid at home though.
Yeah, she's
not talking though.
She's 92. Yeah.
Hmm. She doesn't say dope.
No, I haven't heard her say dope.
No.
She says seriously and slinky,
Oh, I remember.
which is the dog's
Slinging?
name. Slinky.
Oh,
That's
Slinky
the dog's name.
on Toy Story.
And our dog.
Oh,
Yeah, we have a dog named Slink. He's kind of an idiot. Not
what
like
kind
him.
of dog is he?
He's a dachshund wiener
Oh.
dog mix.
We were just talking about those. My daughter likes dachshunds. Long-haired or short-hair?
Short hair.
Yes, this jacket is getting a liner. I'm getting a picture of it to show you. Just
Is it gonna show up?
There you go.
Fancy.
That's the liner.
Very
Orange
manly.
Dan.
Very manly.
Oh, it's for a Metro Man?
Manly. Yeah, I think the black stitching and the black zip tape is good call for contrast when this thing's put together. Really cool.
So we did our back piece with
Three
our
pieces,
with
yeah.
our skirt and our yoke.
Then we did our front
We did
panel, the
front
left
panel?
side,
With a double
welt pocket,
double
there,
welt pocket,
with no
with-
zipper.
no zipper, with peach skin fail cloth, and a ball and chain zipper on the pocket.
Yep.
One chest pocket, and then we got a gusset, more zippers, and put our sleeve together. What else did we do? Is that all we did?
Yeah, we made our little buckles, made our belts.
Oh, yeah,
and,
we
and
made our-
buckles for our side adjuster straps,
Bingo bango.
which doesn't take too long, but it's something that's got to be done, you know.
So off camera, we're gonna do this part again.
Yeah.
A sleeve and the other side of the chest.
Correct. So that we're not boring everybody.
And then we'll start to construct.
Yep.
What are we gonna do tomorrow?
We'll go 3D with everything. We'll start.
We're gonna
We'll
make,
make
us
a vest.
We'll make a casing.
Yeah, we'll make a vest and possibly attach some sleeves even, if we get that far. We have to make a collar. We got to put all the panels together, side panels, buckles, all that stuff.
So at least when we get done tomorrow, we'll probably have a vest.
Yeah, and we
done.
might go ahead and take some measurements of your back length and stuff like that to see how long we want to cut the jacket.
Okay. So Orange Dan had a question. You'll be able to see these videos back on YouTube. So if you missed the first part of this, it will be recorded on YouTube, and then it'll probably be on Facebook too, to be saved there. Whenever we get done with this, Mark is going to send his pattern that he has off to a pattern grader.
3 patterns I have. I'm going to send them.
3
off. Yeah.
patterns. So grading is like the resizing of. This is about a 40.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna grade it out, and then he'll decide whether or not he's gonna sell his pattern from there. What he did to get to this point of one of his jackets was take a jacket apart and put a new one back together.
Yes, and modify each panel to my liking.
Yeah.
To fit better than it did when it was a.
So he thinks that he will sell the patterns when he gets done.
I will sell the jackets. I will never sell my patterns. Those are mine.
No selling the patterns?
No.
Only selling
Yeah.
jackets.
Sorry if we had a miscommunication.
Okay. No.
Yeah, I won't sell the patterns.
No pattern selling, just jacket selling.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, unless you're really special, I might let you have a peek at one of my patterns.
I saw one that says Tony SLC.
Yep.
That's my pattern. That stays with him. What else?
I don't know what else.
Nothing. We'll do this other part, and then we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll make a vest out of this, and maybe put sleeves on.
Yep. We just may put sleeves on. We'll see how far we get.
See you guys later.